when the rain's blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I would offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one to dry your tears, I could hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met, so no doubt in my mind where you belong. I go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I go crawling down the avenue. There ain't nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on a rolling sea, and down the highway of regret, the winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. There ain't nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you. Make you happy, make your dreams come true, to make you feel my love. It takes
just another manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run day, it's just another manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain, they hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places, but the horns, they blowing that sound. Way on down south, way on down south, London town. Check out Guitar George, he knows all the chords. But it's strictly rhythm, he doesn't want to make it cry or sing. It's that an old guitar is all he can afford. When he gets up under the lights to play his thing, and Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene. He's got a daytime job, he's doing alright. He can play the honky-tonk like anything, saving it up Friday night with the Sultans, with the Sultans of Swing. And a crowd of young boys, they're fooling around in the corner, drunk and dressed in their best brown baggies in their platform soles. They don't give a damn about any trumpet playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. And the Sultans, yeah, the Sultans, they play Creole. Creole. microphone. It says at last, just as the time bell rings. Good night, now it's time to go home. Then he makes it fast with one more thing. We are the Sultans. We are the Sultans of Swing. We need a place to sweat. No matter what, we get out of this. I know we'll never forget. Smoke on the water, the fire in the sky. Smoke on the water. lazy flowing river, surrounding castles in skies, and the crowd is growing bigger, listening for the heaven sound.
Here we are back again for this shit show. Gets worse by the day. It's almost becoming too annoying to even look at every day, to even bother with anymore. The liberals are so unhinged and so delusional that why bother anymore? Hell, I started unfollowing some of them. I can't be the only one that's getting to a place in life where I just don't want to hear them anymore. Like, I feel like we're about a year, maybe less away from not even paying attention to these people anymore. I really don't even see a point to pay much attention anymore because it's nothing but delusions and lies all day, every day. It never stops, never fucking ends. Some tornadoes came through here a couple of nights ago, and liberals blamed it on Trump. It's Trump's fault that a tornado hit. Complete fucking delusion. Complete delusion. Well, the people weren't warned. Yes, they were. That's been debunked. Every weatherman in this fucking state has been debunking that for the last couple of days because it's absurd. You're absurd. This idea that without the government we're just going to die is ridiculous. Nobody gets their weather reports from the fucking government. They get them from the news. If the National Weather Service doesn't put an alert out, it doesn't even matter. I got news for you. It doesn't matter. You fucking nitwits. Those alerts don't mean fucking nothing. What do you think people do? Do you think they leave their fucking house and go run to a bunker somewhere? No, they just ride the storm out in their fucking house. People got to get a fucking clue about real life. That's what I've realized over the, people are not in touch with the common man. You may be even a victim of this. You may not be in touch with the common man. The common man does not get in his car and go down to the storm shelter or whatever the fuck. You just sit in your house and you ride it out, and if you die, you fucking die. What are you going to do? It's a storm. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? If I got up and left my house every time there's a fucking storm, I'm going to go hide in a bunker somewhere. Jesus Christ, man, I got things to do, man. And I've been living my whole life. There's been tornado warnings and storms and shit. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. You get hit by a car, anything could happen, man. So I don't worry about it too much. You can worry about it, though. You can be stressed out about the weather, as if you have any control over the fucking weather. Stressed out about that, too. Stressed out about everything. You're going to die. And the sooner you accept that, the better off you'll be. You're going to die. Ain't no avoiding it. You can eat right. You can not smoke. You can do all this shit you want to do. I've known people smoke their whole fucking life, live till fucking 90 years old. Okay? There is no rhyme or reason to it. Nobody quite understands it. So just live your life. And quit fucking panicking about everything. And quit acting like the sky's falling. And get a fucking grip. And all of us we're already doomed anyway. We're full of microplastics and all this other shit. So just get over it, man. Get over it. I'm tired of listening to people whining about everything. Get over it. I guess the Biden years toughened me up because I just don't care no more. Life is not getting worse. Prices are not going up. Even though I keep getting gaslit. I work in a grocery store, but the news tells me every day the prices on the food. No, it's not. It's not going up. In fact, I notice it going down. I notice things that I'm like, oh, wow, I haven't seen that in a while. $1 for a Gatorade. Haven't seen that in a while. Although McDonald's has lost its fucking mind. And I don't quite understand what's going on with them, but they've lost their mind. Like, they want like $6 for a fillet of fish and shit. Like, what the fuck happened to McDonald's? God only knows what the McChicken is. It's probably $5 now. RFK is going to ban my Chinese vapes. That's all right. I'm quitting them anyway. As soon as I finish the ones I got. So I don't even care. Ban it. Give a fuck. Ban it all, RFK. I support it. Get rid of it. Joe Biden has cancer. Nobody wants to talk about it. They just want you to. Liberals are so pathetic. Like, everything is so obvious and in your face now. If you don't see it at this point, you are really stupid. You are. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean to you here, but you are really a retard. I mean, there ain't no way to put it. This motherfucker was in the news. They released some tape of him getting interviewed. Sounded ridiculous. Couldn't remember his son, all this shit. They've been talking about Biden. And then all of a sudden, right before this book comes out by some clown who covered it up, it's so funny. You know why they really hate Jake Tapper? You know what it's really about? And I kind of understand it. And I kind of get where they're coming from here because Jake Tapper is on their team. Think about this. He's on their team. And he sold them out. It's actually a snake move what Tapper did. Tapper's a real snake in the grass. Because he covered all this up. He knew everything. They all knew about it. Everybody knew. Whoopi Goldberg's on The View like, I didn't know. Bitch, you knew. How are you going to argue with people for 5 years? This is what getting on my nerves with these people. And why this is why I haven't been on here for days, quite frankly. Because these people are fucking retarded. And I don't even want to talk about them anymore. I don't even care anymore. I literally don't care anymore to talk about these people. And to try to talk. I literally started unfollowing them. I unfollowed a bunch of liberals the other day. I'm done. I'm done listening to it. It's the dumbest shit. The dumbest fucking shit. But Tapper sold him out. And they can't stand him. Right before his little book comes out, though, Biden gets cancer. Oh, wow. What a coincidence. What a fucking coincidence. And he'll be dead in a couple of months. Everybody's like, we wish him a speedy recovery. He's fucking 80-something years old with cancer. Cancer in his bones, you fucking retards. People are fucking stupid, bro. People are so stupid and childish. And I am tired of reading childish, stupid shit all day. I'm too old for it. And that's the way I see liberals. I see them as children. They view the world like a child. They think like a child. They act like a child. We're hoping for a Biden recovery. Ain't gonna be no fucking recovery. He's got fucking cancer in the bone, bro. The cancer is in the bone. Are you stupid? People can't be realistic about nothing. They can't just go, oh, wow, Joe's gonna die. Joe's gonna die. So prepare yourself for that. It's an 80-something-year-old man with fucking, at this point, fucking bone cancer. It's not just prostate cancer. It's in the bones. I read the article. It's in his bones. He's got fucking bone cancer now. He ain't recovering from that. Does that sound like something you're going to recover from? Being 80-something years old with bone cancer? Does it sound like some shit you're going to recover from? Be honest. If that was your dad, would you say, oh, dad's going to get... Fucking jeez. Don't talk about Biden anymore. Don't talk about this. Fuck off with this horse shit. If Donald Trump had fucking cancer, they'd be having a parade. Are you people stupid? Do you really think this works anymore? You're going to tell everybody, hey, don't talk about Biden's scandals. Don't talk about these things that happened. Just move. Now's not the time. Now is the time. Y'all, first of all, they knew he had cancer. I don't buy this shit. Oh, he didn't do a prostate exam the whole time he was president. Yeah, sure he didn't. Sure he didn't. You got to be a real dumb son of a bitch to buy this. So not only did he have all these issues that everybody could see, but he had cancer. And as the Young Turks guy was talking about, and he's right, he was talking about, the drugs they use to treat this cancer, they can cause memory loss and all kinds of problems. So perhaps all that shit with his mind that we were seeing was just some type of drugs he was using to fight the cancer that they wouldn't tell nobody about. Could you imagine if Donald Trump had cancer and they covered it up? Be having a fucking temper tantrum about it. I don't give a fuck if Biden dies tomorrow. We're going to talk about the fact that you're a bunch of liars. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the fact that you passed a bunch of bills and shit. Biden signed them, but he wasn't really signing them. Some bald-headed faggot in a dress was probably signing them. You know that bald-headed faggot that was stealing luggage at the airport? He was probably signing the auto pen. For all I know. It's a fucking joke. Everything's a lie. Everything they say is a lie. They have no credibility with me. I see David Pakman today having a little temper tantrum. David Pakman, hey, I wish I could talk to him just for a minute. I could tell them what they need to hear. The reality of their situation. And the reality is this. Nobody trusts you. You have no credibility. And here's the problem with selling out your credibility. Now, if Trump actually does something that we should know about, nobody's even going to believe you. Because you're so dumb. You've been crying wolf for so long, nobody's listening anymore. I don't even give a fuck. So Trump could literally put you on an airplane and fly you to Seacott, and I would just go, there's probably more to the story than we're being told. That's what I would think. You must have done something. You must have done something. I mean, you have no credibility with me. Why would I believe anything you people have to say about anything? You have no credibility at all. You sold your credibility out to shill for Joe Biden, and you'll never be able to live it down. And don't get me started on James Comey. James Comey, I listened to him. Let me find that. James Comey's a faggot, dude. James Comey. James fucking Comey. And if we get banned off YouTube for me calling him a faggot, just watch on X or something. Quit being a fucking pussy. Because I don't care. James Comey's a fucking faggot. And I can say that on X. So I don't care. But James Comey pretending, the funniest fucking shit in the world. James Comey's pretending that he was walking down the beach and he just found some shells on the. I mean, are you fucking retarded? You know how dumb you gotta be to believe some shit? These people think you're so dumb. I don't see how you put up with it. I don't see how you're not insulted by these people the way they talk to you. James Comey's like, I was just walking down the beach and I found these seashells and find the clip of it. I gotta find the clip. Oh, God. Where is it? He's such a fucking nerd. He's like, I was just walking along the beach and me and my wife found the seashells on the fucking. He's claiming he just found that. It was just there. What are the odds? What are the odds that the former FBI director that hates Trump is walking down the beach and just happens to find 8647 and seashells written on the beach? I mean, what are the odds of that? What are the odds of that, James? Listen to this.
You were back in the middle of a political firestorm.
Yeah, for walking on the beach with my wife. So I don't know how we ended up here. It never occurred to me that it was any kind of controversial thing, but that's the time we live in.
So take me back to the walk on the beach.
We were walking on the beach. We went to the beach to prepare for this week, which was the launch of my book, and to think about the book and to prepare to answer questions about it. And we were walking back towards the road, and we saw in the sand someone had arranged shells with numbers. And Patrice, my wife, said, why would someone put an address in the sand? And I said, I don't know. And we stood over it, and I said, I think it's some kind of like political message. And she said, 86, when I was a server, she did a lot of work in restaurants, meant to remove an item from the menu when you're out of ingredients. And I said, well, to me, as a kid, it always meant to leave a place, to ditch a place. I said, that's really clever. So then she said, you should take a picture of that. And I did. And I posted it on my Instagram account and thought nothing more of it until I heard through her that people were saying it was some sort of a call for assassination, which is crazy. But I took it.
Motherfucker, we know that you did that. You gotta think I'm retarded to believe you fucking was walking down the beach and you just saw that laying on the beach. What lying? See how they can't stop? These motherfuckers can't stop. They can't stop bullshitting you about everything. He can't just say it. Like, he can't just go, it doesn't mean assassinate. I mean, like, impeach him or something. That's what I mean. No, he's got to play some dumb fucking game and say, oh, no, I just found that. I don't know who wrote that on there, and I don't even know what it really meant. He knows what it fucking means. Well, they had 86 Joe Biden. They had that. They had T-shirts of that. Yeah, it's a lot different. Who tried to kill Joe Biden? Must have missed that when they tried to kill Joe Biden on live television. When did that happen? Oh, it didn't happen. You see, things are different because you actually tried to kill him. Not once, but twice. Actually, multiple times. It's more than twice. It's at least 3 that I know of. So at least 3 assassination attempts. Maybe, just maybe, you should just let the guy serve his fucking term. You love democracy so fucking much. All the people that lectured you about democracy and the will of the people sure have a fucking problem with losing the election and dealing with it. Can someone tell me when I called for the impeachment of Joe Biden? Oh, I never did, because it's useless. It doesn't do anything. It's pointless. And I got better things to do than to waste time with pointless shit. Impeachment has never done anything to anybody. When has it ever done anything? I watched Bill Clinton get impeached. It didn't do nothing. No, it doesn't do anything. It's useless. I knew Joe Biden was going to serve 4 years. I wasn't living in some fantasy world where, we're going to get rid of him somehow. Oh, he'll be removed. Oh, please. The only way you motherfuckers are getting rid of Trump is if you kill him. And if you do that, it's just not going to work for you. That's a bad idea. That's a terrible idea. Don't you see that? It's a terrible idea. People will lose their minds. People will literally... There'll be a civil war. Are you retarded? You gotta calm the fuck down. You gotta turn that television off. Who's even watching it anymore, by the way? You gotta quit watching these fucking influencers. They're riling you up from their mansions. Don't you see? They're living in their gated community. You saw Ed Krasenstein's house got a gate around it. He got a gate. Secret Service had to come to the gate. They didn't get to come to the door. They came to the gate. This sumbitch got a gate. Sitting behind their gate in their fancy house, trying to rile you up to go out there and commit violence. Total loser shit. The Krasensteins, every liberal should be ashamed of themselves right now. The things I'm seeing every day from them. Shameful. Pretending that people died from a tornado because of Trump's shameful behavior. No evidence of such things. You have no evidence to back any of this up. Why don't you just get a grip? Get a hold of yourselves. Nobody cares about Jimmy Kimmel. Nobody's watching any of that. Nobody cares about that. That's like nobody's watching The View or any of that shit. Nobody cares about these people and what they have to say. They're entitled to their opinions, but nobody's listening. Jimmy Kimmel's like, it's good to have TDS. No, it's not. I didn't have Biden derangement syndrome, so why do you think Trump derangement syndrome is good? Trump derangement syndrome is when you believe fake stuff about Trump. You buy all this fake stuff and you become hysterical about it. There's nothing good about believing a bunch of bullshit. But Jimmy Kimmel's never going to go on a show where anybody presses him about any of this. He's just going to go on shows and say stupid shit, and then people's going to clap and go, "Oh, that's pretty clever." It's not clever. It's retarded shit. He's retarded. Nobody watches The Walking Dead anymore. It's been dead for years. Nobody cares about that. But Jane Comey wants you to believe he's walking down a goddamn beach. And he just happens upon the fucking please. And Jake Tapper, we trust him ever again. He sold you out. He said, hell with it, I'm going to get paid. Jake Tapper said, I'm going to get paid. Fuck y'all. Snake in the grass Tapper. Look, here he is. Look at him. Look at him. And they have you. I don't think these people quite understand how the internet works because they're so old. That's why they tweet stuff and they delete it. Why would you tweet and you have like 1 million followers? Why would you? It don't even make sense to me. When somebody tweets some dumb shit and then deletes it, everybody done seen it, took a screenshot of it. Just leave it up. Leave it up so you can at least pretend to have some balls. Everything else is falling apart from your dumb fucking tweet. But at least you can say, you know what, I got balls, I'm not going to delete it. And that's something to stand on. That's something for some people to go, well, you know, he's a piece of shit, but he's got some balls. He's not a pussy. Deleting a tweet that can't be deleted anyway. Fucking retard. You can't delete a tweet. You can't delete anything you post. You get fucking millions of people that's done seen it, you dumb fucking idiots. Stop deleting shit. You can't delete it. Unless you're a nobody, nobody's even looking. And then why delete it anyway? It doesn't make sense. We got you, though. We got all the video. You've been on television lying. You think nobody's got a clip of it, you stupid fuck?
There's no evidence to support the allegation my father was financially involved in my business because it did not happen. There's no fairness or decency in what these Republicans are doing. And I do have to say, whatever you think of Hunter Biden, and there's certainly a lot of people in this town, Democrats and Republicans, that do not think a lot of him, there is a certain kind of like cruelty to the campaign against him. Where is Hunter? Where is Hunter? Where is Hunter? Hunter was driving the decision making for the family in a way that people, he was almost like a chief of staff of the family.
Does that strike you as pretty bizarre?
It's bizarre because I think he is provably, demonstrably unethical, sleazy, and prone to horrible decisions. I mean,
Tell me how you really feel.
well, I mean, I just look at the record. I mean, after his brother died, he cheated on his wife with his brother's widow and then got her addicted to crack. That's just one thing I could say. I mean, I don't have a lot of personal regard for him. There's no evidence to support the allegation my father was financially involved in my business because.
And then liberals aren't mad at him for anything other than he's selling. They don't give a fuck that he lied and fucking lied to him for all these years or whatever. No, he just sold him out. He's supposed to stick with the lie. And he's like, nah, I'm going to sell this book. Fuck it. I'm going to tell the truth about this shit now. And he just sold himself out too. I hope the book does well because your career is over. Liberals hate you. Right-wing people don't like you because you're a lying fucking Biden shill. And now you've sold the liberals out too. You have nobody left. You might have to end up like Kanye and be over there with the Nazis and shit because you got nothing left. You sold everything out. He's going for the big Biden payday, the big book payday. He's hoping that book will be enough because it's it. This is it. This is it. It's over. Liberals won his head. They want him to cancel the book because Biden's got cancer. These people crack me the fuck up, man. They're the fakest people ever. If Trump got cancer, you wouldn't be hearing none of the shit you're hearing. Don't talk about it. Don't make jokes about, don't do this, they'd be doing all of it. I mean, who are you trying to fool? These people are weirdos. They'll make a tweet, they'll be like, oh yeah, the assassination of Trump, that was staged. That was all fake. They killed that guy in the crowd just to fake it. Then they'll turn around and they'll say, when Trump had COVID, they wanted him to die. They were making jokes about it. But then Biden gets cancer and everybody's supposed to be nice. Hey, don't you say anything mean. Hey, this is not a time to make jokes. Hey, this is not a time to talk about the scandals. They're like Biden had no scandals, just like Obama. But I'm the one in a cult. Not them who claims their leaders have no scandals. Every leader that they've ever had is a saint, an angel sent from God. But the Republican leaders are devils. Don't you understand? Doesn't that make sense? That doesn't sound like cultish behavior at all. No. No, it's me that thinks Trump is like the leader of North Korea. That's me. It's not these people who claim that Joe Biden never did anything wrong and he's an angel. No. It's me because I won't attack Trump for doing what I voted for him to do. And that makes me some kind of shill. But you don't even know what shill means. You're so goddamn stupid. I'm not a shill for voting for a guy, and then when he does the stuff I voted for him to do, I don't attack him. Why would I attack a guy for doing what I wanted him to do? What kind of sense does that make? What lies do I tell for Trump? Nobody's ever been able to answer it, and they never can. They never can. Where are these liberals, by the way? Where are they? What happened to them? And they used to have some balls and want to argue. Now they just want to hide and shit. Quit hiding. Kazakhstan.
This is major breaking news. It appears as though Trump violated both a judge's order and the U.S. Constitution. Attorneys are claiming that the Trump administration just deported 11 Vietnamese and one Burmese immigrant from the United States, Texas, all the way to South Sudan. The U.S. State Department...
Listen to me. What does this have to do with the Constitution? You got a motherfucker from another country came here illegally, and they deport that son of a. Let me tell you something. The founding fathers would have just shot these motherfuckers, okay? You realize that, right? They just shot them. What are you doing here? Well, I snuck over the border. Oh, bang. They just shot them motherfuckers. Do you realize that? So you can quit talking about the Constitution when it comes to this, because the people who wrote the Constitution would think you're out of your fucking mind. You think they would just be letting people pour into the fucking... Are you out of your mind? You out of your mind?
Deems South Sudan as level 4 unsafe to travel. It's an extreme poverty. And these people have never been there in their lives. This is in strict violation of the U.S.
They never came. They were never in America until they illegally entered. When you illegally enter a country, bad things happen. Imagine that.
District judge who said that ICE must allow these people to contest their deportation to a third-party country. It's also in violation of the U.S. Constitution that promises these people due process. Trump thinks he's a dictator.
Why do you have due process if you're an illegal alien? What is this with the due process? These are not American citizens. Here's the process that you are due as an illegal alien. Hey, let me see some identification. Oh, I don't have any of that. Why not? I'm here illegally. Oh, you're going back home. Bye. We're getting rid of you. And they deported them. Think about this. They deported these people to a country they've never been to. Now, why do you think that is? Now, this is where you have to have critical thinking skills. And you have to leave the fantasy that Trump is evil. This is evil. It's evil. It's evil. That's child stuff. Why would these people be sent to a country that they aren't from? Well, the answer to that is very simple. Seems very obvious to me. These are people these countries don't want back, and they're refusing to take their citizens. Now, why do you think that is? Why would a country not want to take its citizens back? Perhaps these are criminals. Perhaps these are bad people who they don't want them back in their country. They're looking up, Trump's calling them up. Hey, we got these guys here. Oh, we don't want that guy. We checked our files. We don't want that guy. We don't want that fucking guy back. That guy's a nutcase. Well, I guess we'll send him to a war zone where he can be a nut and go crazy.
And this is a constitutional crisis. This is major breaking news.
I mean, all of this, I knew they were going to flip out about the deportations, but I'm actually shocked by how far they've taken it. To be the number one issue, it seems to be the only thing they ever really talk about, which tells me the economy is doing fine. Because if the economy was tanking, they'd be talking about that. But they're not really talking about that much anymore. They keep telling us that the prices are going to go up, but they don't seem to be going up. Of course, even if they did go up, I mean, these people gaslit us about prices for years, so they'd be the last people I want to hear from. I don't want to hear anything you have to say about it. Oh, now you got something to say? You didn't have nothing to say when your guy was raising prices. But the prices aren't going up. I haven't noticed the prices going up. Maybe on nonsense like a baby stroller. Actually, that's a lie, too. The baby stroller stuff and the car seat stuff. I seen some liberal the other day. Car seats are like $500. And I went, no, they're not. And I typed in car seat into Google and I found one for like $100-something. So no, they're not. Liberals are finding and this is what they're doing with eggs, and this is what they're doing. So they're finding that when they look at eggs, egg prices have went down like $2. They've dropped. They was $5.99, now they're $3.99. So what they do is they go in and they find the most expensive eggs. Like they got other eggs, right? They got like cage free and special eggs, right? That chickens get a massage or some shit every day. And then these eggs cost more because they're like special eggs, right? So they'll be like $10 for a dozen, but they're special eggs. The chickens are pampered and given massages, and they eat a great diet, or they do all this shit. They get sun on them or something. I don't fucking know. But I guess that makes the egg better or something. So the eggs are expensive, and they take a picture of that, and they go, look how much these eggs are. But the regular eggs that a majority of people, once again, the common man, buys the $3.99 a dozen eggs because those are the cheapest eggs for a dozen. They don't buy the cage free, the chicken got a massage, and then the eggs were cradled in the hands of a 20-year-old blonde girl who carried them into the home and kissed each egg. And that's not, those eggs are more expensive, obviously. There's a lot going on with those eggs, but not the eggs most people get. And they're doing with that everything. So find a 600. I'm sure there is a $600 car seat, and they go find that and they take a picture and they go, look at the car seat. But no, the car seat is the same. Everything's the same. And how many times do you buy a car seat? How many times do you buy a baby stroller? These aren't things you buy every day, every month, every week, every year. You're talking about one-time purchases. These people gaslit about prices of things you buy every single shut up, every single day. You go buy food every day, and for 4 years they told you, no, that prices ain't going up at all. Everything's fine. Al Biden ain't got no control over anything. These motherfuckers got the nerve to talk about gas prices. After Joe Biden had record gas prices, the highest gas prices ever. People don't even know this. You tell people this, they're like, I didn't know that. Nobody even knows. This is how much the media lies, and nobody knows anything. Nobody knows Joe Biden has the record for the highest gas prices of all time. Like $5-something a gallon. Nobody knows. And then when you brought it up, they'd say, oh, the president doesn't control gas prices. Well, you can't turn around 4 years later and say, well, what's going on with the gas prices? Trump ain't getting the gas prices down. What are you talking about? Trump hasn't made the price go up. What are you talking about? The prices as they are now is Joe Biden. Joe Biden did that. You voted for that. Shut the fuck up, dumbass. This is why they're not getting on. They're not debating anymore. Okay? They damn sure ain't debating me. Because I'm not letting it slide. I'm not playing your stupid game. Okay? You're not going to talk about gas prices and food prices and everything. We're not suddenly you're concerned. Suck a dick. Suck a dick about your fake concerns. You ain't concerned about nothing. You just see an opportunity to attack Trump, and I'm here to tell you, nothing going on right now is an opportunity to attack Trump. Don't you retards get that? You can't complain about prices. You can't complain about deporting illegals. That's what the guy ran on, you stupid fuck. The guy ran on deporting illegals. What are you crying about? You think the American people are on your side? They voted for it. They voted for deportations. I got news for you. Majority of the people in this country don't give a fuck where you send these people. Wake up. Which one is this? Wake up, Ed. Ed? You go lay down, hush. Wake up, Ed. Let me take these dogs out. Take 5. Take 5 and talk amongst yourselves. I mean, the stuff is so boring now because it's the same shit every day. It's just a bunch of made up dumb shit. And everything they say, everything they cry about, they've already set the precedent. They've already they literally why can't they understand that they have no ground to stand on anymore and just shut the fuck up? Just shut the fuck up. Quit bitching. Quit complaining. You lost. You got decimated. When are you going to take the L and shut up? Nobody wants to hear you. Nobody cares about your crybaby shit about Trump every day. Trust me on this. The best thing you can do as a liberal is shut the fuck up right now. I mean, literally, it's the best strategy you have. And if you took my advice for the next 4 years, you'd be. I mean, I guess you got to do something during the midterms, but you'd be better off during the midterms if you'd shut the fuck up. If you'd stop putting your foot in your mouth every fucking day. I mean, flying to El Salvador and all this shit they were doing. Good God. Good God. Are you retarded? How retarded you gotta be? And hopefully a bunch of you go to prison for this crap. They were all putting 8647 all over. Secret Service came to Krasinstan's house. He was like, oh. Quit threatening to kill Trump all day. That's the first step to winning the next election. Stop looking insane all day, every day. Why is it so difficult just to chill the fuck out? I seen one dumbass liberal today said something. And I'm like, all right, then let it play out. Let Trump do these things that you say he's going to do, and then he'll lose. Oh, Trump's going to destroy this and he's going to destroy that. Then let him. Let him. Just like when Biden was wrecking the country. What am I going to do about it? Fuck it. Let him. I told you every day when Biden was wrecking everything with your smug fucking attitude. What did I tell you all the time? You're going to lose the next election if you do not stop being so smug and arrogant about destroying everybody's fucking financial situation. Oh, what do you know, Smokey? Well, I guess I know a lot because you lost. You got fucked. You got destroyed in that election. You can quit coping otherwise. Stop coping when you lose. Coping about it. Accept it. You're on the path of failure and defeat. You're not winning the midterms. Not at this point. There ain't no fucking way. And you're not winning the 2028. You have no chance. You're literally going against democracy, which is so funny to me. These motherfuckers railed about democracy and now they hate it. They can't stand it because they lost. Which is why I never took anything they said about democracy serious in the first place. You're fake. You just say stuff. You have no beliefs. Your only belief is you want to win. That's it. You'll say anything. That's why Jake Tapper sold you out, because that's the type of people you are. You have no loyalty to anybody. You'll sell them out the first chance you get. And that's what Tapper did. Tapper is the way all of you liberals are to me. That's you. That's who you are. You'll sell out your own team because you have no team. I mean, hell, a lot of these liberals sit on here and do this for money. They don't even really believe in this shit. They get paid to shill this shit. That's why it makes no sense when you're listening to him. You're just like, well, who would actually believe this stuff? Well, he doesn't even believe. None of these people believe this shit. They're paid to believe it. They're paid to push it. It's all bullshit. This is why they seem to be all over the place, is because they don't even remember that. They don't remember saying the Joe Biden doesn't control gas price. They ain't even thinking about that, man. Because they're just making money, doing their thing, riling people up, going crazy. They don't really care. These Krasnostan's, all these people, I don't think they really give a shit. Just a check. Sell the country out for a check. I'm the anti-Trump guy, so I'll go crazy and make all these crazy tweets and get a bunch of money from X and a bunch of money here and a bunch of money there. And probably Democratic Party pays these people too, I bet. See, a normal person would say, well, I can't really say nothing about Trump's gas prices or anything because, hell, Joe Biden's went up to $5 and I didn't say anything about that, so I kind of look stupid. But they don't care about looking stupid. It ain't about that. It's about making money. It's pathetic. There isn't any real leadership in that party no more. That party's fucked. That party has no leader. If that party had a leader, I promise you this. You'll know when the Democratic Party has a real leader because he'll start shitting in these motherfuckers. He'll start taking these Krasnostan's and these Hassans and these guys, and he'll smack them around. You really have to come into that party. It's like Trump when he came in, smacked the Bushes around, smacked Romney around, smacked these guys around. That's what you got to do. Smacking media people around. Like, you literally have to come in to a failure political party and just start purging that motherfucker. And that's what's going to happen. At some point, the Democratic Party is going to have to go through a purge. And I'm telling you, Destiny, Pac-Man, Krasnostan's, Hassans, these people. And the Young Turks see it. You understand? The Young Turks are out in front of it. The Young Turk guy sees what's coming. He sees it. And he's trying to get more into the center. And he's got the blonde chick. She's kind of more right wing now a little bit. So that makes the Young Turks a little, hey, we're not so left wing. We got, all that is trying to get in front of what's coming. And what's coming is complete collapse of this political party. It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to completely, you're going to get to a point where these people are going to, they're going to stop making tweets like this. They're going to stop. Because it's going to become so pathetic. Nobody wants to be a loser. Nobody wants to be on the losing team. And people are going to jump ship. People are going to start breaking away from this shit. The smart people already see the writing on the wall. That's why you're seeing people like Bill Maher and these people. They're trying to get ahead of it. Hey, I'm not one of these retard liberals. I'm a normal liberal. They want to get ahead of this. Because people like Krasnostan, Pac-Man, Destiny, all these people, and the politicians themselves, they're bringing the whole party down. The whole party's collapsing. That's what you're watching right now. If you think you're watching some type of collapse of Trump, you're a fucking delusional motherfucker. I'll tell you that right now. You're delusional. You ain't in touch with no reality at all. Because there is no collapse of Trump taking place right now at all. Not even close. If you're going to beat Trump, you're going to have to live in reality. I've been saying that for 8 years. You're going to have to get away from fantasy, and you're going to have to live in reality. You're going to have to face the person that's really there and not the fantasy in your head. And you've been, for the last 8 years, battling a fantasy in your own mind. You ain't been attacking Trump. You've been attacking a fantasy of Trump. And the problem with that is people have caught on. They've caught on to Trump is nothing like you say he is. What is this crap? And you just keep going on and on and on. I'm telling you, you're about 6 months to a year away from people just not listening anymore. People are tired. I know if I'm tired of reading it and listening to it, others must be. They must be real sick of it. Because if I'm sick of listening to it and I don't care anymore and I'm just unfollowing them, I don't care anymore. Regular people really don't care. Every day is some fake scandal. Oh my God, the sky's falling. Oh God. But when Biden was president, people were really struggling and there were real things happening, wars breaking out and shit. Y'all acted like it was no big deal. Now you want to act like the sky's falling every day when nothing's even happening. It's ridiculous. And they're doing this to you. Trump is doing it on purpose. He's doing things to make you lose your mind. The Taylor Swift tweet is a perfect example of it. Why did Trump tweet that? Because he's senile and insane? No, you retard. Because he knows you're going to have a temper tantrum about it. And that's just another temper tantrum you're having. And then normal people see it and go, God damn, they're crying again? Because normal people, they're used to Trump by now. Oh, what, he said something about Taylor Swift? Ah, well, she said something about Trump. He said something back. That's what Trump does. He always fires back. It's normal. Used to it. What's the big deal? Cares. But you're acting like the sky is falling. Oh, it's some sign of a mental decline. Well, wait a minute. Joe Biden had a mental decline, and you covered that up. Now you're telling me Trump tweeting the way he's tweeted his entire life is a sign of something? He's stupid. You people do not think this stuff through. You just don't. You don't. There's no thinking going on the left anymore. I don't even think there ever was, but there damn sure ain't. I just took you out. Shut up. Just went out. Go lay down. Go lay down. You just went out. Not getting back up and doing it again. Took you out. You peed on the tree. If you didn't piss all the piss out, that's your dumb fault. Go lay down. Quit. No blue waves. That's okay. I'm all ears. Explain to me how it's going to happen. Explain to me how Democrats win the midterms based on right now. Now, things can change, of course, and things can happen. We got a lot of time between now and the midterms, but as of right now, explain it to me. Explain what Trump's doing wrong. If Trump was failing, liberals would be in here fucking with me. Okay, they would be. There'd be people in here fucking with me. There are people. Junie'd be in here. One of them would be in here running their mouth. Notice they're not. They never are. They never are anymore. Because they're getting slapped around. They don't want to hear me. They don't have anything to attack. So they don't want to come in here and face me. Because I got tons of ammunition in my gun. My gun is fully loaded. With 1,000 rounds in it. And they have nothing. They don't even have a knife. They don't have a bat. They have their fist. And that ain't going to do nothing. Their soy-filled fist ain't going to do nothing to nobody. And I have a machine gun with 1,000 rounds. Ready to fire upon them. You'll know when Trump's really fucking up because liberals will be in this stream every day running their mouth. And the fact that you ain't seen that, you saw Parr came in here every now. Parr comes in, but he's a troll. He don't even believe that shit anyway. He's just some fucking faggot troll. He has no credibility either. Nobody takes him serious. He just says things that disagree for attention. Loser behavior. Friendless behavior. No friends, no girl, no nothing. By the way, I'm getting a new PS5. I'll have it on Thursday. We'll be returning to Rust. I'm going back to video games. Fuck all this faggot shit. You motherfuckers are boring. I've defeated you, I really feel. And I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored with you. You liberals have nothing left. Nothing. I mean, what do I have bookmarked? Nothing. Your own leadership admits it. Right here. Look at this guy. Remember this guy?
Listen, he's a great salesman. You and I've known the guy for 30 years. He is a great salesman, and he talks common sense, and he says the stuff that, people like to hear. I think sometimes Democrats get a little squeamish about how we make things so complicated. I mean, just lay it out. But listen, the prescription drug, I think, was very smart. We got the American Israeli hostage out. That's, great. He's talking about $1 trillion of investments on this Middle East deal. I don't know if any of it's ever going to come to fruition, but the public likes to hear that. And we've got to do that. We got to be big and bold. We need politicians in our party who are actually fun, Chris. We have so many lemon suckers that people just tune us out. And, you know, they like folks who are going to just sort of lay it out, have some fun doing it. And common sense. Common sense used to be who our party was. And we've sort of lost it. We got caught up in all of these other issues that matter to so few people, and we've lost our broad array. And I go back to the great Clinton years, you know, when Bill Clinton came in office and we had 4 balanced budgets and we had 2 years of surpluses. He reduced the government, the number of employees by 400,000, Chris. He did it through attrition. He did it through early government payouts. He got where everybody wanted this government to be, and he did it in a way that lifted people up, wasn't cruel to anybody, and had a booming economy, but talked common sense. Talked like the Arkansas guy he was.
Yeah, you're a long way from that. And I will be playing Rust. There's a new version of Rust coming out. Be trying. Whenever that comes out, I'm only getting it for Gears of War, though. Austin donated for it, so you can thank him. I want it for that Gears that comes out in August. Fuck all these other games for real. I don't even really. Yeah, it'll be good. And yes, Biden had cancer the whole 4 years. Even MSNBC admits it. Just
the PSA going to run for president for another 4 years. Obviously, the PSA exam is
he was going to die, and they were going to give it to Kamala.
I've never met a doctor that doesn't say you needed to do the PSA exam and also have the physical exam as well. I just find it hard to believe that any White House physician wouldn't say, okay, well, what my doctor and what every other doctor says, which is, okay, we've done the PSA test and that's fine, but at least once a year, we need to do a physical exam. Again, if you're just talking about a 78-year-old guy that is not running the free world, that's one thing. But if you're a White House physician and you have any man over 40 years old, are you not going to at least say, hey, once a year, like every other physician says, once a year, we need to do a physical exam and check? Because this is like one of the leading causes, one of the leading sicknesses for men over 40.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, I think 100%. And did they do a digital rectal exam to assess his prostate? Again, typically that's done in the presence of symptoms. To your point, he's the leader of the free world. Did they do it and not characterize it? It's hard to know. We're speculating here. I would say in an abundance of caution, probably be holistic and comprehensive. That would make sense. It is interesting to note that President Trump's, President Obama's, and President Bush II, in their most recent physicals, in their terms of office, obviously 2025 for President Trump, did comment on their PSA levels. And so they got screened while in office and they commented on it. It's not easy to access the most recent ones from President Biden. You can read the summary articles. I couldn't access it on the archive site on the White House just before I came on. But according to those that were able to, there is not a report of a PSA test on the most recent physical that was read out for President Biden's last year in office. And so it's to say what was done, what was not done. You and I would be speculating, but the other 3 most recent occupants of the White House had it drawn, and it was reported out. In the case of President,
they were going to let Joe Biden die and put Kamala in there so they could have their first black female president. Because that's the most important thing. Making history. Making history is what's important. Remember when Trump won, they were like, we could have had the first female president. We could have made history. Oh! Like, what? Kind of childish bullshit is that? Who gives a fuck about any of that? Voting for the best candidate and voting for fucking history? Oh, we got the first female president. She sucks. She's a terrible candidate. But hey, we did it. And then the prices would have went up even higher, and they would have went, who cares? They wouldn't even be talking about it. No end to no Putin-Ukraine war, none of that. By the way, that's going to end here soon. That's coming to an end. It's only a matter of time. Don't you understand that we signed a minerals deal and we got, those are our minerals now. Okay? So Russia's got to leave now, don't you see? Which is exactly what I said months ago when I was arguing with you idiots about this. Why would they sign the mineral deal without a securities guarantee? Notice how they've signed the minerals deal and now Trump's calling up Putin. He's on the phone with Putin now. Hey, Putin, it's time to go. It's time for you to go and we get our minerals those are our minerals. You're going to have to leave now. So we're going to have to end this war so we can get in there, get our minerals and shit, get that going. You got to go. This war's got to end. And it will end. Trump's even putting pressure on Israel. He's sick of that shit too. Oh, I thought he was a shield for Israel. All the narratives are bullshit. They're all falling apart. All of you are wrong about everything. Maybe you should shut the fuck up trying to lecture me about this stuff because it seems like I'm always right about it. These wars will come to an end because Trump wants them to end because he wants to be the guy that ended these wars. That's what he wants his legacy to be. So if you think he's not working on that behind the scenes, you're an idiot. You're fucking stupid. Quit buying into mainstream media narratives about Trump. They aren't real. When are you going to wake up and realize that's not real? That shit they say is not true. Y'all believe that shit. And it clouds your judgment on all these topics. Until you stop I don't believe a word the media says. So I don't have to, my judgment's not clouded by it. I don't believe things they say about Trump. Why? What have they been lying about the motherfucker for 8 years? The fuck would I believe a word they said? Look how they lied about Biden. So when the war ends, you'll be taking another L, putting it on the shelf. But it's not really an L. It's good. It's good to end the war and people don't senselessly die for no reason. You should be happy. They don't want that war ended because it makes Trump look good. These people are losing. That's TDS. When you would rather thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of men just keep dying, all so Trump can look bad, you have TDS. Now, I'd like Jimmy Kimmel to explain that to me, the logic behind how that's a good thing. If you oppose everything Trump does, you have TDS. You telling me there's not one thing that you can agree with? Nothing? Nothing? Not one thing you like about Trump at all. There's things I like about Biden. You can't think of nothing you like about Trump. You have TDS. You're deranged. I could find things I like about every president. Why can't you? You're deranged. You're full of hate. And it clouds your judgment. And you'll always end up being wrong because of it. You'll never, until you drop the hate and the bullshit. I mean, even he's like, goddamn, I can't. I mean, how far am I going to sell my credibility out? I mean, goddamn, everybody knows. I mean, United States, they just stumbled upon the cancer. They didn't they didn't detect it early. He's a president. He wasn't getting the top medical care. I mean, really? Even Joe Scarborough knows that's a bridge too far. Even Joe Scarborough has to draw the line. And I've said this for years. Everybody has their line. And in time, everyone's going to draw their line on these people. There's only so much you can take. I got to go out on TV and pretend that they didn't know. I got to pretend didn't have top medical care. I mean, what do you think? I'm going to look like a fucking idiot. Goddamn, I have a career to think about here. My credibility's already in the fucking toilet. I'm trying to repair the damage. Goddamn. It's another reason Jake Tapper got to think about his own goddamn career. He's already sold himself out. He's already a fucking shield. Nobody trusts him. Hell, might as well cash in on dumbass Biden. Might as well cash in on dumb fuck Biden. And then ride off into the fucking sunset. Joe Scarborough's trying to salvage his shit. Well, I'll have the gone.
You believe it is likely, if this prostate cancer has spread to the bone, that he could have had it for up to a decade, but certainly it's likely. Would it be fair to say it's likely to have had this for at least several years?
Oh, more than several years. You don't get prostate cancer.
I just want to stop you. So this is not speculation. If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you are saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021. Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
And I'm just curious again, if your doctor to a president of the United States that is a male, that is an older man, would a prostate test, and again, we're just talking about a PSA screening, a blood test that you could do along with all the other blood tests. It's not even that it would be intrusive. Would this not be one of the first tests that you would conduct as a White House doctor?
If you're a White House doctor in this situation, I think you would certainly discuss it with the president and talk about the pros and cons. I think if you then ask, well, if President Biden says, well, if I'm your father, which patients often do, you know, what would you recommend? I think the fact is that most White House doctors would recommend getting the test. And again, the evidence is, look at President Obama, President Bush, younger than President Biden, and they both got the test.
I mean, man, cancer the whole time. You voted for an old man with cancer. After telling us Trump was too old to be president for years. And you voted for an old man with cancer. And wanted to vote for him again. I mean, God. Why are you confused about why Trump's president again? You did this to yourselves. Nobody did this to you. You gave nobody any choice whatsoever. I told you when Biden won in 2020, it was a bad move. This was not good for you. And it was the beginning of the end for your party. You thought it was funny. Well, it ain't so funny now. No, Biden was gonna die. Biden ain't gonna live much longer. You got bone. It's bone cancer. It's in the bone. Cancer's in the bone now. Okay, this ain't gonna be. I don't think Biden will be alive by the end of the year. I really don't. So Biden was going to die, and they were going to swear in Kamala Harris. That was the plan. It's obvious. They knew he had cancer. They knew he had aggressive cancer, and it was going to kill him. He's not going to survive this. Are you crazy? And they put this out here to try to distract from this, because everyone was talking about Biden. All these stories were coming out about all the lies that they covered everything up. So they put this cancer stuff out there to try to shut everybody up. Oh, he's got cancer now. And you can see how look how the liberal influencers who are paid to lie to you, Look at the narrative they put out. It's all too obvious. Oh, let's not talk about this stuff right now. I mean, now's not the time to be talking about this. Yeah, they want to move on from it. The only reason they told you he has cancer is so they could try to get you to shut up about Biden. That's it. And nobody's going to shut up. Go fuck yourself. Fuck you, people. If Republicans did this with Trump, oh fuck's sake, never hear the end of it. Trump could be sitting in a hospital bed dying, and they'd be making jokes about it. So if they think they can sit on social media and say, "I can't believe these MAGA how can they talk about Biden?" Oh, you fucking kidding me? You ain't no better than any of these people making jokes about Biden. Ain't none of you better than these people. We can go through your Twitter account and find tweets of you anytime Trump got sick or anything. You lost your goddamn mind. We can find those tweets. They still exist. I mean, do you just like looking stupid? Is it like a sexual thing? You into it or something? Like humiliation thing or something? Because y'all love looking retarded. I don't understand. Do it to yourself all the time. This is not a good look for the Democratic Party. And once again, Trump's not doing anything. Nothing's happened. Like, he's not doing any crazy shit, no matter how much they try to tell you he is. I'm not seeing it. What's so crazy about any of it? What's so crazy about anything Trump's doing? Nothing. Meanwhile, y'all was covering up Joe Biden having cancer for 4 years. You had somebody else there signing bills and shit, pretending to be Biden and shit. Massive scandal. This is a massive scandal. I know you want to pretend it's not because it's liberals, but this is a massive scandal. And if it was the other way around, it was a Republican scandal, it would be the only thing the news was talking about. It wouldn't talk about nothing else. They'd be screaming from the rooftops about it. So spare me the bullshit. Oh, we don't need to talk about this. We need to move on. I seen some bitch on CNN talking about, well, Biden's not president anymore. So what? Trump wasn't president for 4 years, and you guys were trying to put him in prison and going after him and everything. Remember, I used to get on here all the time and say, "Yeah, Trump's not even president anymore. Who cares?" Like, why are you guys still obsessed with him? Why are you trying to put him in prison? Move on, man. He's gone. But no, they kept on and kept on and kept on until he got back in there. You put him back in there. You did that. It wasn't just Biden. It was you all too. I mean, there were people during the primary that were like, I don't know if I want to vote for Trump. I don't know. And what did they do during the primary? Oh, we're going to put him in prison. We're locking this sumbitch up. And all you did was get everybody to get back with Trump. Then you tried to kill him. That didn't work out for you. That was a bad move. That was the final nail in your coffin. That move was stupid. You know how the assassination attempt was the biggest mistake they ever made? Because they try to say it's fake now. When you bring it up, they go, "Oh, that's staged." That's how bad it is for their party. It's the final nail in the coffin of that party. That party is never going to be able to recover from literally trying to kill their political opposition on live television. And everybody knows who did it. Nobody's buying that it was Iran. Everybody knows it was the Democrats that tried to kill him. Everybody knows it. Then I got to listen to them tell me how dangerous Elon Musk is or this person. You tried to kill the president. If anyone's dangerous, it's you. You tried to kill the guy. So if he turns around and puts you in prison, who cares? I mean, you try to kill him? I don't care if they hold trials and put these cocksuckers in prison. So spare me that too. If that happens, I'm all for it. And I was all for locking these crooked politicians up long before Trump came along. Go lay down. Put them in a prison cell. Who needs them? Go lay down, quick. I just took you out. Now go lay down. All right, I'm going to go to bed. I got to work tomorrow. I'm fucking tired. Oh, wait. Let me watch that fucking faggot-ass thing so he'll shut the fuck up while I'm thinking about it here. Foxer's like, I donated for that. It better be. He been whining about it. It'll probably be some retard shit, too. It better be good. This better be entertaining. Foxter. Hey, go lay down. I don't have no food over here, nothing. I done ate that hamburger. Go lay down.
We're going from looking at feet, looking at shoes, stealing some shoes, and now we're touching people and breaking into their rooms.
The big thing that I got going on, it's like
you want to lick it so badly.
Foot fetish, you want to call it.
So entering their rooms and touching their feet and legs, that's this step. What would be the next step after that?
What started out as a burglary turned into a nightmare for multiple women on what should have been a relaxing 4th of July weekend. A resort nestled on the coast of Lake Tahoe, Nevada, became the center of this bizarre crime spree during the nights of June 30th and July 3rd, 2022. The events earned the assailant the nickname Foot Fondler. The escalating nature of his crimes leaves investigators asking what drove him to commit these strange acts, and what was he planning to do next?
I don't know why I would do it. It was really stupid.
Do you think you'll be able to stop?
It's August 1st in the residential neighborhood of Atwater, California, where two investigators with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office have traveled over 200 miles to serve a fugitive warrant. Nearly a month after the incidents that terrorized the residents of Lake Tahoe, the investigators prepare to question 26-year-old Mark Anthony Gonzalez, leading to an unusual conversation with disturbing insights and jaw-dropping revelations. The following footage has never been seen before.
Are you Mark?
Yes.
Hi, Mark. I'm Detective Jenkins. You're with partner Detective Schultz.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Would you mind stepping back to our Jeep?
Pleasure. Good morning.
We're going to walk this way and have a conversation.
Okay.
So, Mark, the reason that we're here I'd like to chat with you a little bit about your family vacation to Lake Tahoe around the 4th of July.
Okay.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about your vacation?
We just went over there, have a good time.
Breaking in bitches' houses
weekend.
on
We
their
just went
feet.
over there, we normally go every year, 4th of July. We went boating and just things like that. Wanted to have a good time. That's it. Nothing too big.
The officer is well aware that Mark's definition of a good time goes beyond boating on the lake, but before she confronts him with what she knows, she first informs him of his Miranda rights. But Mark chooses to be anything but silent.
So I'd like to talk to you about some of your activities while you were up in Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
Specifically the rooms that you went into of the women and touching their feet. And before you tell me that you didn't do anything like that, I'm going to tell you this is your one opportunity to be straightforward with me.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that it was you because you left your fingerprints behind.
According to victim statements, on the nights of July 2nd and 3rd, Mark entered two separate rooms at the resort through unlocked sliding glass doors. One woman described waking up as her blankets were being lifted from her body, while another was awoken by the sensation.
We have a good time 4th of July weekend. We just went over there, we normally go every year, 4th of July. We went boating and just things like that. Wanted to have a good time. That's it. Nothing too big.
The officer is well aware that Mark's definition of a good time goes beyond boating on the lake, but before she confronts him with what she knows, she first informs him of his Miranda rights. but Mark chooses to be anything but silent.
So I'd like to talk to you about some of your activities while you were up in Lake Tahoe. Okay. Specifically the rooms that you went into of the women and touching their feet. And before you tell me that you didn't do anything like that, I'm going to tell you this is your one opportunity to be straightforward with me. Yeah. Okay. I know that it was you because you left your fingerprints behind.
According to victim statements, on the nights of July 2nd and 3rd, Mark entered 2 separate rooms at the resort through unlocked sliding glass doors. One woman described waking up as her blankets were being lifted from her body, while another was awoken by the sensation of someone rubbing her legs and feet. The officers will soon confront Mark with more disturbing details from these incidents, but for now, they continue to question him about his deranged motive.
So I don't understand why you did those things. I'm trying to understand. I've never met you. I don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
So can you kind of explain it to me?
Just out of dumbness. Just, I don't know why I would do it. It was really stupid.
Well, and I mean, I'm sure you can appreciate 4th of July. There's a ton of women up there. Why those rooms? Why did you go into those rooms?
You know, every room looks the same. It was out of dumbness that I did it, and I don't know why I would do it. Just a stupid thing.
Okay.
But
how did you get into the rooms? I mean, how did you just, I guess, pick the room or decide?
Well, because every room looks the same. I honestly did think they were like the rooms that I was supposed to come back into, but they all look in that resort like they're all the same rooms.
Oh shit!
I just went in just through the back.
Mark can't seem to decide whether he entered their rooms by mistake or if he had a more nefarious purpose. Thankfully, the officer gives no attention to his excuse.
So you went in, and then the ladies explained to me that you were rubbing their legs and their feet. What's the deal with that?
Just a dumb thing that I have. It's like a little fetish thing that I got going on.
I don't know you, so explain it to me. Just explain it to me. No judgment. No zero judgment.
Well, it's like a big thing that I got going on. It's like like a foot fetish, you want to call it.
Okay.
And it's stupid.
Have you done anything like this before?
No.
Mark is quick to deny it, but as it will soon be revealed, this isn't the first time his self-described foot fetish would land him in hot water with the police. For now, the officer attempts to figure out his state of mind and learns something that may suggest Mark's crimes are escalating.
What was the draw, or what was exciting about it for you? Was it the feet themselves? Was it the excitement of the I shouldn't be doing this? What was the deal with that?
Honestly, I really don't know. It's just like wanting to go the next step, you know? Just, I don't know.
What's the first step?
Well, just like watching
I hear you say
things.
that you have a foot fetish. Okay, what kind of stuff do you watch?
Just like dumb, like just random,
Like regular, or is there like, I don't know.
It's just,
is there like
it's just regular. It's just, well, there is, but I just normally just do the regular.
Have you ever done anything like that, like stolen shoes, taken shoes, anything like that?
I bought shoes from women and stuff, like online and all that.
The officer isn't simply making an educated guess about his activities. While she's keeping her awareness of Mark's history close to the vest for now, she'll soon explain what she knows about the case in shocking detail. In the meantime, as Officer Jenkins continues to question Mark, Officer Schultz decides to call in for backup to prevent an uncomfortable situation from unfolding when a family member begins watching the encounter from a distance.
Hey, could you ask a unit to meet us over here? Yeah, we're going to be doing that here shortly. So we just, like for black and white, we got a family member that's out here just for a cover for us.
See, I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea why I would do that. It's just like a thing that I have going on, and I know it's not the right thing, but I don't know.
Unfortunately, no, it's not. Have you spoken with someone about?
I've spoken to a therapist, but
what have you
it's
learned?
been a while.
Okay.
A few things. How to try to cope with it, wear a little, wristband and stuff to kind of cope with that situation.
While the use of a wristband is a documented tactic used by some psychologists to mitigate unwanted behaviors, it's interesting to note that Mark does not appear to be wearing one.
When you say you wear a wristband to
Well, just like if I do get into that stage, I'll normally, try to wear it and it'll snap me out of things doing, weird things like that.
Have you been doing weird things like that for some time?
No, just watching, like I said, watching just kind of copes with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
See what to deal with it.
Yeah.
How long have you had the foot fetish?
Honestly, like More than 7 years.
Okay.
It's been a while.
And how old are you? 26, right?
26.
Okay,
Yeah.
so before you were an adult.
Yeah.
How did you, I guess
people just like have their own thing, you know. Like,
yeah.
I guess
What's
that's
the
how
first time that you remember having like a thing for feet? Like, how did you discover it?
Honestly, I have no idea. I think I might have seen something that I liked during watching something like that, and it stuck with me for a while. Yeah, it just never went away.
After gaining some insights into Mark's compulsions, the officer circles back to the incident that brought them to his front door and refers to an earlier statement he made that has some deeply unsettling implications.
You know that you have this foot fetish, and then this was because you wanted to, I think you said, take the next step.
Yeah.
So entering their rooms and touching their feet and legs, that's this step. What would be the next step after that?
Well, I mean, I'm not too sure. Just something going on with like
Was there more that you were wanting to do that you didn't?
No.
Please forgive the personal nature of my questions, and I know it might be awkward talking to a female. If you prefer to talk to me,
it's fine.
I appreciate your honesty. I do. No judgment from me. Okay, no matter what we talk about, zero judgment. Okay, we all have our stuff, right? Yes. When you were in the rooms with the women, there was some thought that perhaps you were you in the women's rooms?
No, just watching, touching.
Watching, touching yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, touching yourself. Okay.
No, just watching them.
Watching them.
And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark struggles to get his story straight, and the officer isn't buying it.
I wasn't even sure if she was a woman, to be honest with you. Like, I just went in there and just like had to done this. Just like I said, wanting to,
And Mark, this is the part where let's just be honest with each other, okay? I don't think that you went into a random room. I don't think that you're into guys' feet.
No.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think you're into guys' feet.
Yeah.
So I think that you probably knew that it was a woman, and I'm not judging you. Okay,
I really didn't know, like, because it was so dark. I didn't.
So did you just randomly start checking doors and find one that's unlocked, or what? How many times do you recall doing that? Obviously, I know the answer, but I'm going to.
Good Lord, they're going in that fucking home. Coming in the back door.
Going into a woman's room.
That's why you lock your fucking door.
Or trying to.
This is the only first time I've done it there.
Mark's heavy emphasis on the word there is troubling to say the least, and begs the question, was it really his first time?
When you were up in Tahoe, I understand that. How many times while you were there?
Just twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you try to get into another room but the door was locked? No. There was actually 3 times.
Just once that I went in.
Okay.
For the one that was open.
This would turn out to be a lie. Mark may have been stopped due to one locked door, but it did little to slow him down, as he brazenly broke into not one, but 2 other rooms.
Okay, you went in the ones that were open. Okay, so 2 times.
We're gonna rub them feet bad.
Only went in the ones that were open.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Going into a woman's room without their permission, touching them without their permission, that's a crime. I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah, I don't know why I would do it. Like I said, it's like stupid.
No, I hear you. I hear you what you're saying, and it sounds to me like this is something that you've been kind of battling for some time.
Yeah.
Are your parents aware of the struggle that you have? They are?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do they know what you did in Tahoe? Did you tell them?
They do.
Okay, when did you tell them?
Well, they found out. I didn't tell them.
Oh,
they found out.
How did they find out?
Okay. My sister told them, hey, there's this thing going on over there.
And then they figured it out.
Yeah, because
through the
news. My past. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your sister saw the news?
Yeah.
Kind of called you out on it?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, why don't you call me? Why you make me drive all the way here? Why don't you call me? Come on now.
Scared.
I know, I get it. I get it. And I understand where you're coming from. And unfortunately, you are going to have to be held accountable for your crimes. Okay. So I have a warrant for your arrest. Okay. I do appreciate your honesty. Thanks for the conversation. I think that goes a long way to speak to the kind of man that you are.
Yeah.
A lot of guys would just stand here and be like, I don't know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
The discussion between Mark and Officer Jenkins is far from over, as he has more jaw-dropping confessions to share. In the meantime, Mark's father has seen the handcuffs go on and has finally decided to get closer to the situation.
Dad's coming up behind you. Do you want me to inform you that your dad about what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Hugo. Hi. So he informs me that he's already spoken with you about the things that he did in Tahoe.
What he did.
While Mark's father claims to be unaware of the events, What he says next reveals he knows more than he's letting on.
So he entered the rooms of multiple women. So I have a warrant for his arrest. There's 4 different charges. 2 are burglary, which is a felony in the state of Nevada.
Which he didn't steal anything.
It doesn't matter. Burglary is not stealing.
Burglary in the state of Nevada is defined as entering any structure with the intent to commit larceny, assault, battery, or any other felony once inside.
Touching another person's body against their will is a battery. Okay? So that's included in the statute of burglary. Okay? And then battery and attempted battery.
He
So
said,
there's
well, he didn't steal
4 different
those.
charges. And I'm
It's
sorry,
hard
it sounds like he's
Your
been
son
selling
in there
for
trying to
quite
rape
some time,
women.
So
You know,
unfortunately,
it'd be better if he
I
was
believe
stealing
he's
shit.
escalating a little bit. I know he's already seeing a counselor.
What kind of fucking response is that?
Maybe
I couldn't be a cop because I'd have been like, yeah, fuck you. You wish he was stealing shit, you fucking idiot. You wish I was here because he stole a TV. They're trying to rape women.
I kind of noticed that when you were talking, you were trying to get him to admit something like a type of charge, like something that has to do with.
No, he has priors here. I don't know if you're aware of his history.
Yeah, we
about
know
one
your
of his
son was in there trying to.
department
What are we,
workers in the county
stupid?
sheriff's office. He has prior contacts, and during those
Your son was
contacts,
breaking into
their
women's homes,
cases,
rubbing on their legs
there
and
was
feet in the
some
bed.
information given to me that
He
maybe
was
he
one
had
step away from just
after
raping
taking some
them.
women's shoes or
And it would have
touching
happened at some
himself.
point. He would have ended up
According
raping
to the
somebody.
Atwater Police Department, Mark was suspected of stealing women's shoes from porches and garages.
Well, maybe
in
he
his
has.
neighborhood,
Maybe there's
leading
more
to one
revelations to
sergeant
come.
giving
I
him
don't
the
know what the fuck.
nickname, the Shoe Bandit. But this won't be the only shoe-related incident, as a report will reveal later.
Came in some lady's shoe or something.
He has a fetish that's kind of got the better of him, and he's having some decision-making issues, and it's escalating. We're going from looking at feet, looking at shoes, stealing some shoes, and now we're touching people and breaking into their rooms. Right?
While Mark waits in handcuffs, the
What
second unit Officer Schultz requested has still not arrived.
Hey, it's Schultz from the Douglas County again. Hey, just want to let you know we're code 4 with one in custody. Could one of your units transport him for us, or do we need to transport him to your facility? There's a 20-plus ETA. We're 14 minutes out from the facility. We want to just go.
Yeah, I can see. You want to just put him in the front? Yeah, that sounds good.
While letting a suspect sit in the front seat beside the arresting officer is unusual, it's the following conversation that takes place between the two that will surely raise a few eyebrows.
You're not going to attack me while I drive, right? No. Well, you say that, but I've had people attack me while I was driving, so I just want to make sure that that's not a deal. No, you've been a perfect gentleman, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Left at the stop sign.
Left?
Left.
All right, you be my driver. He's promised he's not going to attack me while I'm driving.
Of course, why would they do that?
I don't know. People do silly things.
As the conversation continues, the questions from Officer Jenkins veer more and more into deeply unsettling territory.
If the women had woken up, did you have a plan as to what you were going to do after that?
Just the same day.
Just winging it?
Yeah.
Did you have a thought or fantasy of how it might go in your mind?
No, not really. Yeah.
Did it bother you at all that, like, they were sleeping next to their husband?
Disturbingly, in both instances, the women were not alone. When one victim nudged her husband awake, he reported seeing a shadowy figure at the foot of their bed. After shouting at the unknown person, he then chased him through the sliding door, but lost sight of him shortly after.
I guess not specifically the husband, but that they were next to someone. Did that have anything to do with it? But I guess, was it more exciting for you that way because it was a little more scary? Or
no, it's just the same.
So what part of it was exciting for you? Was it the entering the room secretly? Was it the actual feet and legs and being able to touch them? Or what was the most exciting thing for you?
Yeah, the feet and legs, yeah.
Not
entering or nothing like that.
Is there a particular type of feet or legs that you like?
Not really. Probably just like ones that are nice, nicely groomed. And like, I don't know.
Is it women's feet, men's feet, all
Just
feet?
women's feet.
Just women's feet. Okay. I can't honestly say I've ever watched it. What would foot consist of?
Just doing it with the feet is all it is. It's not, it's nothing big.
So like with feet?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's just that.
All right. Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, I've tried it.
How'd it go?
Good.
Yeah, you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
With a consenting partner?
Yeah. That, I mean, I guess that would help me out. Like, you know.
If you had a consenting partner.
Yeah.
The officer's line of questioning is far from over, and there's still one important question about his behavior she has yet to ask.
Do you think you'll be able to stop? I mean, honestly.
If I have a partner, maybe. Yeah, of course.
Have you been in like a committed relationship where that was a thing?
No.
So you're not sure?
No. Okay. I've never actually like done that, like dated or anything like that, or like looked for, you know, like.
So just had encounters?
Yeah. Right now, what I'm doing is actually buying the shoes from the woman online, and that's kind of coping with my problem.
Okay.
After his identity in this case was revealed to the public, one woman came forward with a troubling story about an interaction with Mark on the website OfferUp.com. The truth of the matter has not been verified, and the statements made by this individual only reflect their opinion. According to her statement, Mark was interested in purchasing a pair of high-heeled shoes from her, but first requested she put the shoes on and take pictures of her feet. She refused and immediately ceased all communication with him. 9 other postings on his seller profile showed that Mark was attempting to sell or give away various pairs of women's sandals, flip-flops, and high heels, which may be what prompts Officer Jenkins to ask the following question.
Is there a particular type of shoe that you like?
Open-toed shoes.
Okay.
Anything open-toed.
So
I'm not into like the closed-toed or anything like that.
Okay. Right, so you got to be able to see the feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had the compulsion to hurt?
No.
Feet or anything like that? Or did you have any thought of hurting the women when you were touching their feet and legs?
No.
Okay.
Finally arriving at the Merced Police Department, the officers prepare to take Mark in for processing. Ironically, a routine procedure will end up giving Mark a taste of his own medicine.
Lift up the bottom of your feet so I can see the bottom? Yeah. Separate your toes for me? Perfect. Relax.
While it's impossible to know what Mark may have been planning to do next, it's clear that his unsettling obsession was taking a dangerous turn. Shortly after his arrest in Atwater, California, Mark Anthony Gonzalez was extradited to Nevada to face charges where the crimes occurred. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of felony burglary and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. In addition, Mark was ordered to pay the families a restitution in the amount of $435. He was later transferred back to his home state, where he remains incarcerated at the Substance Abuse Treatment Facility and State Prison in Corcoran, California. He will be eligible for parole no sooner than February of 2032.
911 emergency, what are you reporting? I just went away from home because I live in a family of 15 and my 2 little sisters right now are chained up. Okay, how old are you? I'm 17.
When a 911 operator for Riverside County receives a strange call from what sounds like a very confused child, she has...
Damn, that whole bit. What the hell? That video is not over already, is it? What the hell just happened?
We're going from looking at feet.
Him for us, or do we need to transport him to your facility? There's a 20.
Specifically the husband, but that they were next to someone. Did that have anything to do with it? To be able to see the feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had the compulsion to hurt?
No.
Feet or anything like that? Or did you have any thought of hurting the women when you were touching their feet and legs?
No.
Okay.
Motherfucker's weird. I've heard worse stuff. I've heard worse though, Voxter. Let's see weirdos on doorbell cam. Look at this guy. Imagine this is at your door.
This first doorbell camera footage was taken in broad daylight. A man in at least his 20s is seen selling candy door to door. The homeowner with the camera would open the door for the man. She would then proceed to make a purchase, with the actual transaction itself being shown. But shortly after, 3 more men revealed themselves.
Oh.
They were armed and took advantage of the open door by robbing the woman in her own home.
That motherfucker just turned around with the candy and said, fuck it. Was he in on it? Had to be, right?
The whole operation was a setup, with the man selling the candy being in on it. From the start, the intention was to gain the homeowner's trust to get her to open her front door so that they could rob her at gunpoint. The men swiped some of her belongings and later rushed off. A few minutes before this footage was taken, a nearby house's doorbell camera would capture the same man, again seemingly attempting to sell candy. Although, being suspicious, this homeowner wouldn't open the door. Directly after this encounter, the man is shown going up to the house across the street to make another attempt. But this homeowner would also not open the door. The men involved were never caught by police.
What?
This footage was captured on the night of March 7th, 2019. Shown is a man stepping on a house's front porch and emptying an entire yellow fuel container just in front of the door. The man then attempts to light the fuel using a small lighter.
Moron didn't even try to light the. He trying to light the ground. Look, there's a fucking rag right there. Dumbass, retard. Oh, there you go. Now you got a fucking clue in your head. What in the world? He can't even light your shit.
After failing to catch the fuel on fire, the man gives up and just walks away.
Retarded.
As it turns out, he had mistakenly used diesel fuel rather than regular gasoline. And while gasoline is extremely flammable, diesel fuel is much less so. Had the man used gasoline, and he would have no doubt started the house, along with himself, on fire.
Yeah, he would have lit up on
In the
fire,
house
too.
at the time was a mother and her 2 children. When the mother saw the footage, she would call the police, who would later identify and arrest the man in his house just across the street. The woman claimed she didn't know the man, and had no idea why he would want to harm her and her family. When questioned why he did it, the man claimed he had seen a ghost and was trying to get rid of it, suggesting he was most likely under the influence of something. He was later charged with attempted homicide and arson.
Peacock.
On February 2, 2022, a contractor in Houston was working at a townhome. At around 6 p.m., the contractor claimed an unknown man that was armed and wearing a mask suddenly appeared inside the townhome with him. The unknown man proceeded to force the contractor into a bathroom, where he then tied him up by bounding his feet and hands. Afterwards, he rummaged through the townhome for over an hour, all the while listening to a police scanner to verify the police weren't on their way. And this footage captured exactly that. After taking multiple items belonging to the homeowners, who were out of town at the time, the man found the contractor's keys and drove off with his truck that now contained everything that he had stolen. The man was never found by police, however the stolen truck was. It was found 2 days later, unoccupied in a nearby restaurant parking lot.
Stolen
But
shit.
ever since, nothing else has been found.
Wow. What the fuck?
This doorbell footage was recorded in the early morning hours of July 26, 2019. While it's not visible in the footage itself, the house just next to the one with the camera had been completely set on fire. And because of how close the houses were, this made the house with the camera at risk of also being set on fire. Shown in the video are some of the other neighbors desperately trying to warn the homeowners of the threat.
Hey guys, yeah. If their house is on fire.
I know, I'm knocking on the door. There's nobody answering.
property is on fire. Your house is almost on fire.
Okay, thank you.
Fortunately, the loud banging was enough to alert the homeowners to the situation. From there, they would get all the children out of the house as quick as possible. They were then brought to one of the neighbors' houses across the street, far enough away from the fire. But other than some damage to the trees and part of the garage, the house with the doorbell camera was ultimately left untouched.
Man, that ain't that serious to put there. You running out of
This footage captured an unknown man walking up to the front door of this house. Right away, he leans against the door and tries to open it. He doesn't even knock, but the doorbell camera alerts the homeowner of motion being detected, so the homeowner still gets up to see who it is. Before asking any questions, the homeowner opens the door to see what the man wants. Then, without any hesitation, the man steps inside the house. Naturally, the homeowner saw this as a red flag, and shortly after tells the man he needs to leave. But he didn't listen, forcing the homeowner to have to physically push him out of the house.
Why would you open your door with some random dude? Must be a guy that don't give a fuck.
Hello. Hi. How are you, sir? Who are you? Aaron Reyna. How are you? Good. You need to leave. How far? Out there. What's the staircase? What? What's the stairs here? Come on, where are you going? What's the stairs here? Goodbye, you.
He's huge, no wonder. That guy look huge.
As the door is being closed on him, the man forcefully punches the glass on the door. But fortunately, the homeowner was still able to close and lock it.
The guy said, "You need to go."
The man then continues to stand at the door, trying the door handle, before the video ends. What this man had actually planned is unknown. This video was taken on the night of August 10th, 2021. A woman is seen returning home from work. She unlocks her door and walks in. But before she can close it again, a man that was armed enters her home just behind her. Shortly after, another man can be seen. The two would demand the keys to the woman's car, and after she gave it to them, they would run back outside to where her car was parked, where they would then drive off with it.
Como pra fora. Don't move. Don't stare. Don't.
Police were immediately called, and only a couple hours later, they would find the stolen vehicle at a stoplight. They attempted a traffic stop, but the vehicle fled. The high rate of speed and rainy conditions that night made following it almost impossible, so police had to give up. The vehicle is yet to be found, but the two involved in the theft would be found only 2 days later. The one that confronted the woman was charged with home invasion, armed robbery, and motor
Where's the
vehicle
damn
theft.
car?
This happened in Phoenix, Arizona. It's the middle of the night, and this was captured on one homeowner's doorbell camera. A man armed with an actual sword, a hammer, and an axe walks up to the front porch. He then proceeds to steal multiple items outside of the house.
Stealing shit outside the house. What the fuck? What the hell you possibly stealing out there? A plant? A candle? Look at this shit.
At one point, a car drives by, but the man completely ignores it. After a while, he walks off with his bag filled with stolen items, the sword still being held under his arm. While at work, a man in Florida would receive a message on his phone saying someone rang his doorbell. When he checked the live feed, this is what he saw. A man wearing a hat, sunglasses, and bandana is standing at the front door. And disturbingly, he's holding a handgun in clear view of the camera. The doorbell's audio system would ask the man to leave a message for the homeowner, and he does. He claims he lost his dog and wants to look in the homeowner's backyard for it.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Hey, just wondered if you guys saw a lost puppy. He's a pit bull, blue nose. I believe he came in your yard, but I don't want to look without your permission.
Hey, you at the wrong house, dog.
Alright.
After the homeowner came on the speaker and confronted the man, he quickly left with no questions asked. As it turns out, this wasn't the only house he did this to. Police would state that they had gotten multiple calls with the same description of the man and the exact same story. The man was most likely trying to get homeowners to open their door, where he could then threaten them with his gun, and from there do who knows what. In this specific case, he most likely didn't realize the doorbell camera could see his firearm from where he was standing, which explains why he would be holding it out in the open by his side. Police weren't able to identify the man because of everything he had covering his face. Therefore, he has yet to be caught.
What the fuck? I ain't open the door for nobody. Fuck out of here, guy. No, you get the fuck out. I don't care what you want. Get the fuck out of here.
In this first video, the dashcam footage from a truck caught the exact moment an ambush took place. The video clearly shows as multiple people alongside the highway use an improvised roadblock made of tree branches to force drivers to stop. The people responsible were multiple illegal immigrants angered by a recent demolition of a makeshift camp they had set up.
You see?
As soon as the truck stopped, they would climb the guardrail and throw multiple sticks, rocks, and even lumps of concrete at the driver. Luckily, the driver would make it past the roadblock, though he would claim that in the moment he feared for his life, and unfortunately he would receive multiple wounds from items thrown through the windshield that would ultimately require him to seek medical attention.
Imagine you see this shit.
This footage takes place at 1:30 a.m. on a Sunday, and it features dashcam footage of a car traveling along a quiet stretch of road in the country. As the car approaches an intersection, a hooded man can be seen standing with his head bowed in the middle of the road. As the car gets closer, the man can be seen attempting to walk in front of it, forcing the driver to stop. And that's when the man can be heard screaming as he lunges towards the car, which of course would force the driver to step on the gas and get out of there.
What the fuck?
The driver claims that after the encounter, he would frantically try to call and warn his wife, who was traveling on the same road about a minute behind him. Unfortunately, he wasn't quick enough, which would cause his wife to experience the exact same encounter. To this day, the couple claims they were unsure of whether the man was trying to rob them, take their cars, or hurt them in some way or another.
Turn around and hit that sumbitch.
This next footage takes place on a dark and isolated road. It starts out with nothing out of the ordinary, when, just as the car rounds a bend, an out-of-place figure wearing a suit with a briefcase and an umbrella comes into frame.
What?
And directly after, another identical man can be seen. The men would retreat into the long grass, where suddenly it's clear there are multiple men looking identical to each other.
The fuck
They
is
seem to have been
this?
startled by the vehicle, as if they had been caught. When suddenly, further down the road, yet another figure can be seen, this one holding a flare.
It's still unclear what happened next, or what the driver truly witnessed that night. Though, many believe the driver had drove right in the middle of a cult, taking part in a ritual of some sort.
Oh, fuck. That's gotta be some kind of fake shit, a movie or something. What the fuck is it? Look at this.
In this video, you can see the dashcam
fuck
footage
was
of
that?
a parked vehicle in the middle of an October day in 2014. From the audio, it's clear someone is inside the car, as you
The
can hear
hell
the
was it,
window
the
roll
briefcase
down, followed by
guys?
the driver saying how creepy something is.
Need more answers
That's
on
when you
that.
realize what the driver is talking about, as you can see a man wearing a disturbing looking mask walk around the vehicle. According to the driver, there were 5 others with the same mask on not visible from the dash cam. Though, even still, it's clear the driver thinks it's a joke, as you can hear her laughing. But that's when the masked men break one of the car's windows and proceed to rob the driver of all her valuables. The whole while, horrifying screams from the driver can be heard.
She thinks it's funny. Let's hear it.
So creepy.
Oh my god, she brought her window down!
Where did you get them? Come here. What are you doing? What did you get out of the car? Take down this number now. 800-639-9690. That's 800-639-9690.
There's a guy right there! That guy said, ain't none of my damn business. Look at him. Look at that guy! Look at that guy! He said, ain't none of my business! He said, go tell somebody in there about it. I don't know. I ain't turning
This
around.
footage was taken in the middle of the
Fuck that
night in
shit.
a desolate field located in Saudi Arabia. Almost right away, you can see as the driver is slowly approaching a white figure that looks to be holding a cane off in the distance. As the footage progresses, the white figure starts limping towards the vehicle, and after a few seconds, the driver can be heard panicking. After a while longer, the figure continues to move towards the driver, and now obviously terrified, the driver can be heard yelling commands at the figure that can basically be translated to back up and get away from my car. Near the end of the video, the figure can be heard making a shrieking noise directed at the driver. The video itself is no doubt disturbing, and it's still unclear what the driver had actually caught on video that night.
Hit that bitch. The hell? Look at that thing.
This footage comes from a police cruiser's dash cam, and in the footage you can see as 3 officers are attempting to assist the owners of a car that had broken down on the side of the road. Though, as the footage progresses, the officers look behind them as if to react to a noise. And that's when all of them desperately try to get out of the way of a car coming straight towards them at an extremely high speed. The car would barely miss the officers and come to a screeching halt further down the road. The driver of the vehicle was discovered to be intoxicated 26-year-old Cedric Keith Henson Jr.
That man pull a
Though the
gun
parked
out like
vehicles
he was
would
going to
receive
shoot that
serious
car and
damage.
stop it.
Luckily, no one was hurt.
Watch him pull his gun. Like, what's that going to do? Do this. He said, I'm going to shoot this son of a bitch. Actually, a quick reaction time. Wrong reaction, though. What's the gun gonna do as a car?
Back in 2016, a sort of killer clown phase would shake Americans for a few months. It basically consisted of multiple people dressing up in clown costumes. For many, the motive was simply to scare people, though others would actually rob and even kidnap people. And during that time, in 2016, a family would drive home in South Yorkshire late at night when their dashcam would capture a clown step out in front of their vehicle. The clown would proceed to just stand there and wave, until after a few seconds, the clown would sprint towards the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle would desperately go in reverse, until finally going back and drive, forcing the clown to get out of the way.
Yeah, run him over. And then roll the window and say, "Get the fuck out of the way, dumbass." Fucking retard. I'll kill you right here on this road. You'll die right here on this road. Car slam into you. I'm not even stopping. I'm gonna go right around him. And if he plays around, he's gonna get clipped. Get the fuck out of the way, guy. Look at this shit. I'm gonna go in reverse. Look at him. Some retard. See? That's all you had to do. Then he was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna die."
Of a police cruiser located in Texas. In the video, you can see as the car in front of the police cruiser suddenly swerves and brakes in an attempt to avoid an object on the road. As the cruiser gets closer, it's revealed that the object is a woman lying passed out on the road. Luckily, Sergeant Scott would stop to help the woman by waking her up and getting her on her feet. The woman was overall suspected of having been intoxicated when she ran her car into a nearby ditch and walked back up the road just to pass out moments later. What's terrifying is just how many times she had been almost ran over prior to Sergeant Scott stopping to help her.
Crazy. Drinking too damn much. Look at that shit. You had too many when you're laid out in the middle of the street. What the hell?
Gas mask.
I'm going to bed.
On the 19th of September 2017, an anonymous 4chan user posted a picture of a gas mask, 2 bottles of vinegar, and a jug of bleach, captioned, "About to test out this gas mask." While some brushed it off, thinking that the OP was just messing around, a few showed genuine curiosity and egged on the OP to continue his experiment. Okay, post results if you live. However, this curiosity turned into concern when the OP returned with an update 20 minutes later, stating, "What could go wrong? We'll report." Alongside this, he posted a picture of the vinegar being poured into a mysterious yellow substance, which looked shockingly similar to concentrated chlorine gas. For those who don't know, chlorine gas is a deadly war chemical that was used by the German army during the First World War. More importantly, the only chemicals needed to synthesize this dangerous gas are bleach and vinegar, the exact materials OP had with him. The OP either didn't know about the gas or seriously underestimated its danger. Unfortunately, by the time he realized the gravity of his situation, it was already too late. Because just a few minutes later, he returned with a disturbing update. "Holy, it hurts. Might have to go to the hospital." This also included a picture that showed his arm developing blisters and turning a burning shade of red. These symptoms matched perfectly with known signs of chlorine gas exposure, sparking immediate concern for the safety of OP and anyone in his vicinity. "You fool, that will burn your skin and soak into your surroundings. Legit question, please tell me you don't have an apartment/pets or roommates. Depending on your mixture, you just messed up big time. Let's say you made only 4 ounces of gas. That comes out to 29,962 parts per million. Concentrations of about 400 parts per million and above are generally fatal over 30 minutes, and at 1,000 parts per million and above, fatality ensues within only a few minutes. Dude, go vent yourself somewhere and literally bathe with a garden hose. You are going to melt otherwise. It acts on flesh, not just on breathing pathways. It melts flesh, which makes people drown in their own melted lungs, but your arms can get messed up too. While the other users were panicking, the OP made 2 other posts, each showing his arm in increasingly worse condition. It's starting to peel and fall off, still hurts, with his last reply simply stating, goodbye. After posting this update, the OP vanished from the thread, leading many to believe that he might have actually passed away due to this experiment gone.
He died!
Some even claimed the incident had taken the lives of several of his neighbors. However, despite extensive searching, I wasn't able to find any news reports mentioning such a gruesome incident. If something of this magnitude had actually happened, it would have definitely made headlines. More importantly, I couldn't find a single credible source confirming just the OP's death either. In other words, we don't know what happened to him after his last post. The lack of any news coverage could suggest that the OP may have survived the chlorine gas exposure, possibly after calling emergency services and being rushed to the hospital. But that's highly unlikely. Even in moderate concentration, chlorine gas can end someone's life in minutes. Yet the OP kept posting about his worsening state for over 30 minutes after creating the deadly chemical. Which brings us to the other possibility, that this whole thing was completely fake from the beginning. To some viewers, the peeling skin on his arm looks suspiciously like makeup, or at most some well-done special effects. A now deleted user on Reddit even added a personal anecdote to back this theory, stating, I have a face mask exfoliator that goes on wet and looks pretty much the same as Anon's skin in the first pic, and peels off like the following pics. See how the skin is peeling off and shows regular skin underneath? If he was actually burned, the skin underneath would look red and or bleeding. He probably just grabbed one of his girlfriend's exfoliators and slapped it on because it looked red enough to fool people. If the whole thing was staged, it would also explain some of the strange behavior I noticed from the OP. Things like, why did he stay in the bathroom with the hazardous gas for so long instead of rushing out immediately? And how was he able to endure the excruciating pain he must have been in, all while taking perfectly framed, still pictures of his arm? However, despite all the signs suggesting it was a complete hoax, there's still no definitive way to know for sure. Maybe one day a news article will be found that
Just some nerd made it
death,
up.
or perhaps the OP will come forward and reveal the truth. Until then, the gas mask incident remains one of the most disturbing threads in 4chan history.
So disturbing about it's fake.
Bank robber. On August 20, 2015, a 4chan user posted his plans to rob a bank later that day, stating, okay, today is the day. I'm going to walk into the bank at 3 p.m. with sunglasses, a hat, a sweater, a BB gun, and this note. I'll get out, dump the sweater and BB gun, and ride out on my bike back to the hotel. I'm serious. Wish me luck. Alongside this was a picture of a handwritten note that he planned to hand over to the bank teller, stating things like, I want $5,000, $150 bills only, and I have a gun in my jacket. However, threads like these aren't anything new on 4chan. More often than not, it's just some anonymous user who's bored, trolling, or desperate for attention. So, despite the OP's insistence on being serious about his plans, this one seemed no different. One user even recognized the OP from a previous thread where he talked about robbing the bank for $20,000 instead. To make matters worse, the OP didn't use a VPN before, allowing someone to trace his approximate location back to Jacksonville. By this point, most users saw the OP as nothing more than a clueless wannabe. However, while everyone was making fun of him, the OP did what no one expected. He followed through with his plans, setting off a manhunt that would last for weeks. It started with him showing off the BB gun he brought to the robbery and getting drunk to calm his nerves. From there, he stayed active in the thread and kept everyone updated on his whereabouts. He also ditched anonymity and began posting under the Anon Dump username so others could follow his updates more easily. Minutes before the planned time, he posted about someone stealing his bike, which he was going to use for the robbery, before going completely silent. This led many to believe that the plan was cancelled, but around 25 minutes later, Anon Dump returned with images of the money he stole along with a detailed description of what he did and what he was doing next. However, while he saw himself as a master criminal, the police weren't far behind. His hat and glasses did little to hide his identity, allowing investigators to plaster his face across news networks. They also put a $3,000 reward for any information that could lead to his arrest. This left the OP fearing for his life as the gravity of his actions began to sink in. Hey guys, guy who robbed the bank here. My face is on the news and there's a $3,000 reward for tips leading to my capture. I'm scared. Robbing a bank wasn't worth it at all.
I have like $4,800 left. I'm scared of leaving the hotel. I want to get out of here, but somebody may see me. I'm trapped. And this fear was justified. He was now a fugitive who was being actively pursued by the police. On top of that, he also had a BB gun on him, which looked like a real gun at first glance. If the officers barged into his hotel room and saw this gun nearby, there was a real possibility he could lose his life over a relatively small amount. Despite his growing fear, he continued updating everyone on 4chan about his whereabouts until the 21st of August around 3 p.m. when, after hiding in a hotel room for nearly 24 hours, he managed to escape the city and vanish from the thread. Now, it's unclear what happened next, but based on what I've seen, it's likely the investigators were already monitoring his updates on 4chan, and his post about taking a cab from the hotel gave them the lead they needed to track him down. On September 2nd, 2015, authorities arrested 26-year-old Pedro Smith, aka Anon Dump, about 70 miles from the crime scene in Gainesville. He was charged with armed robbery and faced a minimum of 10 years in prison. However, after a trial in September, he was sentenced to only 3 years in prison, which didn't make sense to some people on the internet. How did he get away with such a light sentence after robbing a bank and hiding from the police for so many days?
Because he's an idiot.
A few people looked into his whereabouts after his release in March of 2018 and discovered that he was living in a luxurious home worth over $1.5 million in Miami.
What?
This pointed to the possibility that he had wealthy parents who could also afford top-tier lawyers to help reduce his sentence. In other words, the only reason Pedro had for robbing a bank and potentially risking his life was to gain the attention and approval of other users on 4chan.
Typical loser.
Researching these 4chan videos is some of the sketchiest research I do on this channel. Everything is anonymous, so you'll see people post pretty much anything. There is no way I would trust sites like these with my personal information. But as it turns out, even the more trustworthy sites that I do give my information, the Monon tunnels. In April of 2018, a 4chan user made a post seeking information about a disturbing picture they recently came across. It read, "On one of the recent iceberg chart threads, someone mentioned the Monon tunnels not being on the iceberg. When I went to Google what these tunnels were, the only results I got were the original thread and pic related. Does anyone know more about it? I don't know how to read EXIF data." Coupled with the post was an image that looked like the aftermath of a horrific crime scene. It depicts two masked figures standing in a grass field at night, their index fingers raised towards the sky. Behind them is what looks like the remains of a young child in a red jacket, lying face down on the grass. Unfortunately, no one on 4chan had any clue what the OP was talking about either. One user did claim to have seen a similar image back in the 2000s when they first started using 4chan, but they didn't provide any further information. The contents of the image also divided the community in two. Some speculated that this was the trophy photo the two men took after ending a life. They look like hunters posing with a fresh kill, while others weren't so convinced. I feel like this might just be some kind of photo shoot. You know, like a bunch of kids hanging out and they decided why not take some pictures, which led them to taking this picture just for them to show it around on the internet for shock or something. Which begs the question, what is this really? I tried searching for answers myself, however information surrounding this image is surprisingly hard to come by. For starters, the OP mentioned an iceberg chart thread in their post, but never provided the link or even the name of the thread. Looking at the image itself, there's not much we can gather from it either. There are no visible landmarks or even stars in the sky that could help us pinpoint the location where the image was taken. The only clue we have is the name, the Monon Tunnels, referring to the tiny town called Monon, Indiana. But even that's not much help, since the town is littered with hundreds of flat grass patches that could have served as the backdrop for this image. The camera noise makes it near impossible to estimate the year this image was taken based on the image quality as well. And there wasn't any useful information in its embedded data either. I also couldn't find any exact matches on the internet outside the original 4chan through reverse image searching. However, while looking for similar images, I came across something that could potentially clue us into the origin of this unsettling image. You see, there are two distinct possibilities for what it represents. First is that it was taken by a couple of serial killers as trophy photo proof of their horrible crime. But I wasn't able to find any matching incident that happened in Monon or its surrounding area. Even if the killers were never caught, there would still probably be a report where the victim's description aligns with the person we see in the image. Which leads us into the second, more likely possibility. This was simply a group of friends, and the person lying in the background is actually an adult who likely passed out after a night of drinking.
Now, there's no way to know if the disturbing feel of the image was intentional or not, but the possibility of this being a completely harmless picture is fairly high. Reverse image searching it brings up hundreds of similar photos, with people having fun and lying down on a patch of grass at night. That being said, this is nothing more than conjecture on my part, and the reality could be anything. Then there's also the question of how the OP got their hands on this image if it's nowhere else to be found on the internet. Sadly, it's been over 7 years since the original thread, meaning it's unlikely we'll ever uncover the truth. Spoon and duct tape experiment. On the 9th of April 2010, an anonymous 4chan user posted a fun science experiment for others to try. The instructions were as follows. Go to your kitchen and find a nice metal spoon. Teaspoons work too, but normal ones are better. Get yourself a lighter. The bigger the flame, the better. Get some duct tape and wrap it around the handle, about 4 to 6 layers. Start heating up the spoon with the lighter. Make it really, really hot. Holding it just above the flame for about 2 minutes should work. Go to a faucet and turn on cold water at full force. Hold the spoon directly under the faucet. Post results. At first glance, this experiment looked like it had something to do with steam. Maybe pressing the hot spoon under the faucet would instantly vaporize the water, filling the room with a sudden burst of steam or fog, something along those lines. When, in reality, the results were much worse. Whoever thought of this wicked experiment did so with the intention of hurting people, and unfortunately their plan worked better than they could have expected. Within the first hour of the thread going live, nearly a dozen people had injured themselves attempting to follow the instructions. I thought, hey, what could go wrong, and I tried it. At first, it steamed in my face like crazy, and then the spoon started ticking and split into 3 parts, one shooting through a plate, one through a cut, and the last barely missed me. I don't believe this, so I thought I would try this, expecting something cool would happen, like a lot of smoke, but instead I got a shrapnel spoon. It nearly exploded in my hand and shards went off in all directions, causing me to take cover. This nearly cost me my life. I'm not coming here again. OP, why? I covered my face expecting steam. My hands are bleeding so much it hurts. No one do this. Extreme cooling causes metals to burst. Now, 4chan is no stranger to causing widespread harm with these cool experiments, like the one I covered in my previous 4chan video. However, this one stood out for just how dangerously destructive it was. It used extremely common household items like duct tape and a spoon. And because it didn't involve any chemicals, people were far less cautious about just how dangerous it could be. According to one explanation, heating the spoon causes the inner layers of the tape to become extremely hot, almost to the point of melting, while the outer layers remain cool enough to still touch. Then, as the hot spoon comes under cold water, it quickly cools down. But since the inner tape around the handle is still scorching hot, it causes extreme temperature and pressure differences within the spoon, causing it to explode, sending shrapnel everywhere. And while the damage on 4chan was already immense, that was only the beginning. From there, this experiment spread like wildfire to other popular forum sites like Newgrounds, claiming even more victims in the process. The only silver lining here is that the spoon and duct tape experiment copy pasta has since faded into obscurity. So, at the very least, it hopefully won't be causing any more injuries.
I mean, y'all are retarded, man. Why would you even try some dumb shit like that?
Back in 2008, some 4chan users got together and came up with one of the most cruel pranks in the site's history. Now, unfortunately, most of that thread has been lost to time. The only surviving proof I could find was this screenshot detailing what to do, stating, Epileptic forum raid. 1. Make account. 2. Spam flashing gifs, party hard, etc. 3. Troll the user base. 4. Question marks. 5. Profit. Their target was the Epilepsy Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to supporting individuals with epilepsy and helping them find the care they need. After agreeing on a plan, the group of anonymous users headed over to the Foundation's website and exploited a security vulnerability to gain unrestricted access to the support forum. From there, they used a script to post hundreds of messages embedded with flashing animated GIFs with hopes of catching visitors off guard and triggering seizures. Tragically, this was just as effective as they expected. Within seconds of the attack, dozens of users began experiencing intense migraines, with some even suffering full-blown seizures. One of the site's visitors, 33-year-old Rianne Foltz, described her painful experience in a later interview, stating, "It was a spike of pain in my head, and the lockup that only happens with really bad ones. I don't think I've had a seizure like that in about a year. She was just one of many victims that were swept up and what can be described as a truly evil act.
Got your goddamn
mind.
mind.
4chan attackers were celebrating their victory, laughing at the victim's pain, and calling the attack incredible and amazing. Fortunately, the Epilepsy Foundation's IT department managed to quickly take control of the situation before it escalated into a widespread crisis. And while I couldn't find any solid proof, a few sources suggest that the attack may have triggered an FBI investigation. Unfortunately, because of 4chan's anonymity, the people responsible for this horrible attack were never identified or held accountable.
What in the world? Problems. Serious problems. Yeah, evil. Some evil shit.
Rentahitman.com is an easily accessible website on the service web that claims to offer hitman services. The website has been functioning since 2005, and despite the disturbing claims made throughout the landing page, it's never been taken down and is still active to this day. Upon entering the site, you'll notice it's structured pretty similarly to any modern website that wants to establish trust and credibility with its viewers, which upon initial inspection is a little jarring considering what's being offered. According to one of the claims on the site, Rent-A-Hitman has a workforce of almost 18,000 US-based field operatives trained to take the life of anyone deemed a nuisance by the requester. One of the sections on the landing page describes the type of situations in which an ordinary person might find themselves in need of a hitman, such as getting bullied at the gym or office or wanting to get rid of an ex-partner. Interestingly, there's also a section with testimonials made by people who allegedly purchased the service and were satisfied with the result. There's even a commercial on the site made with a voiceover by a guy with an Italian accent claiming his name is Guido. If you click on Service Request, you'll be taken to an order form with a caption that reads, "If you are seeking a service request or wish to consult with a field operative, you will first need to submit brief details of your inquiry for our review, and a field operative in your region will contact you at the email address to obtain further details and to schedule your free consultation. Additional verification documents may be requested during the process." If you haven't picked up on it by now, the whole site is satire, which is why it hasn't been taken down. It's sprinkled with obvious jokes and commentary that allude to its satirical nature, such as the claim, "We are 100% HIPAA compliant," which is apparently the Hitman Information Privacy and Protection Act of 1964. The site was created in 2005 by a Bay
What's so
Area
disturbing
man
about
named
a
Bob
satire
Innes while he was
site?
taking an IT course.
The fuck?
One day during class, he and his friends decided to start a business together.
I
and
wanted
use
to
the
be
name
disturbed. I'm not
Rent-A-Hitman as a
disturbed
play
at
on
all. It's
words for their
stupid.
website traffic and
I'm going to
analytics
bed.
business.
Fucking clown
Unfortunately, the business never took off, and Bob and his friends left the
The
website
second one better be
unattended
disturbing
for
or I'm
several
going to bed.
years. 5 years later, in 2010, he checked the mailbox associated with the website on a whim, and to his shock, he found hundreds of unread messages written by people all over the world with some pretty dark requests. As Bob later told ABC News, one of the messages came from a woman in Canada named Helen, who claimed she wanted 3 of her family members murdered. After reaching out to her, Bob quickly realized the request was serious, after which he forwarded the message to law enforcement, leading to Helen's immediate arrest. You might think that a case like that is 1 in a million, but as it turns out, dozens of people have reached out to Bob over the past 15 years with a serious desire to take someone out. Anytime Bob and his crew get a serious request for a hitman, they immediately get the necessary authorities involved to prevent the requester from hurting someone. From 2010 to present day, Rent-A-Hitman has helped prevent over 150 legitimate murder attempts. Although many of the messages Bob receives nowadays are obvious hoaxes, about 10% of the requests made by his website visitors have turned into real-life investigations, with many of them resulting in rightful arrests. In 2021, a Michigan woman named Wendy Vine was arrested after making a legitimate request to have her ex-boyfriend murdered. Although she used a pseudonym when she contacted Bob, or Guido as he calls himself on the website, she used her real name when filling in the form, and Bob promptly called the Michigan State Police with her information. After her arrest, she was sentenced to 7 years in prison, which she is still serving to this day. For anyone with half a brain, it's pretty obvious that the website was built as a joke. I mean, there have even been news reports on Rent-A-Hitman making it clear that the website was made for something completely different than hiring a real hitman. Still, people have continued to confuse the website's purpose and have ended up expressing their murderous desires to Bob. Although it's pretty clear that the people who have used this site with a real intention to kill someone aren't very bright, the fact remains that Rent a Hitman has helped prevent some pretty serious crimes from taking place. Hidden Answers used to be what you could call a deep web version of Reddit, Quora, or Yahoo Answers. Basically, it was a deep web forum that could only be accessed by using specific browsers where users could ask any questions they wanted without running into the risk of being censored. As Hidden Answers was hosted on an unfiltered, uncensored part of the internet, some of the conversations that took place on the forum were naturally pretty disturbing. Using the Wayback Machine, I was able to find some of these questions. One user asked if anyone could sell him a gun, while another asked for his fellow forum members to share a TNT recipe with him to make a bomb, claiming he wanted to use it to explode a tree, or perhaps something bigger. A lot of the questions I found answered bordered on illegal, such as the one coming from a user who wanted to know how to print fake money, while another user asked for the best way to take the life of an annoying neighbor. Some of these questions didn't get a lot of answers, but still, it makes you wonder what the people who did get their questions answered went on to do with that information. In 2023, Hidden Answers was taken down by the owner of the site, who claimed he was tired of Tor being used as a way for petty people to ask stupid, illegal questions instead of as a tool to combat censorship. As of 2024, the site is still down, and will probably remain that way for good.
Shut it down. It's retarded anyway. Dumb idea.
Galdrux.com is a strange cult-like website dedicated to educating its users on how to transcend to the next dimension, or something like that. The website's pretty odd and confusing, so you'll have to make your own conclusions about its real purpose. On the landing page, I found a strange image of an eye with spider legs, along with a short paragraph that read, "There is no reality, only chaos. Through chaos, energy becomes will. Through will, truth becomes illusion. Through illusion, matter becomes thought. Through thought, we become God. Galdrux shall lead us to chaos." The next page gets a little more disturbing, as it's explained in pretty plain English that Galdrux.com was built as an online hub for cult leaders from all over the world to share resources, gather information, and spread their beliefs. As per the strange text on the page, Galdrux is some sort of multiversal cult looking to take over the world with a new form of spirituality. If anything on the website is to be interpreted as true, the overall goal of the cult is to push the world towards some sort of technological singularity, but that's as much as I could understand. As I scrolled further down on the website, the pages started to get weirder and weirder, with many of the sections featuring random flashing graphics bright enough to possibly cause a seizure. One of the more eerie videos I found on the site featured Mark Zuckerberg's face contorting into strange shapes.
What the fuck?
Also featured on the site is whatever that noise is you just heard playing the entire time. By clicking on some of the links, you'll be taken to new pages introducing different kinds of deities in the strange cult, and from what I observed, there doesn't really seem to be an end to the site. But other than finding pages upon pages with meaningless information presented in visually distressing formats, strange psychedelic poems, questionable mathematical proofs, and endless puzzles in multiple languages, I couldn't really understand the point of the website. It's possible that Galdrux.com was built as some sort of art project, or that it was really built as a way for cult leaders to connect online, but because there's not a lot of information on Galdrux.com out there, it's hard to know for sure. The most I could find outside of the site were a couple of Reddit posts made by people claiming to be members of the cult, asking their fellow Redditors to join them on Galdrux.com and open their minds to transcendence or something, but that's about it. Since he was 15 years old, John Greenwald Jr. became obsessed with understanding the inner workings of the US government, especially in regard to UFO-related confidential documents held by the CIA and other agencies. Since 1996, John Greenwald has leveraged the Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA, to gain access to more than 2 million pages of previously confidential documents. These documents include revealing information on alleged UFO sightings, the JFK assassination, chemical, biological, and nuclear weapons, and top-secret aircraft that the government does not reveal to the general public. Over the past 3 decades, John has taken those millions of pages of previously classified information and housed them in a well-known online archive known as the Black Vault. Upon entering the website, you'll be greeted with a massive repository of all kinds of documents and case files presented in a pretty straightforward and no-nonsense fashion. One of the things that makes the Black Vault stand out is that it doesn't present any of the information contained in official documents as true, and the language used in the case descriptions doesn't give off any conspiracy theory vibes at all. The site simply lays out all the information from the documents that John and his team have acquired from the government in the most objective way possible. All interpretations are left to the discretion of the viewer, which has contributed to the site's unshakable credibility over the years. This straightforward and genuine type of presentation is almost what makes the site disturbing in its own type of way. For example, one of the stories I found talks about a series of alleged UFO photographs taken back in the 60s by a man named Paul Villa, which somehow ended up in the National Archives collection for the Goddard Space Flight Center. Paul Villa was a guy who claimed aliens communicated with him telepathically since he was a kid, and that they once guided him to a location near Peralta, New Mexico where he took pictures of a flying saucer. As per his claims, Paul Villa allegedly saw the flying saucer levitating his truck and interacting with its environment in impossible ways. Although the claims made by Paul Villa and the authenticity of the photographs are questionable at best, the Black Vault never claims that the story is true. Instead, it simply lays out the fact that the photographs somehow ended up in the National Archives collection, and it's clearly stated that the photographs were simply included on the site for reference purposes. One of the other recent stories on the homepage that caught my attention listed all the documented incidents in which the White House dog has bitten a Secret Service agent. As per the official government documents, an incident occurred on June 15, 2023 when an agent was bitten by Commander, the White House dog. Because the agent spilled a lot of blood on the floor of the east wing of the White House due to the dog bite, public tours had to be delayed for about 20 minutes while the cleanup staff took care of the mess. John Greenwald claims there was a video of the incident, but the White House refused to release it after he requested it, leading to an appeal being filed in February 2024. Disturbingly, there have been dozens of pretty severe incidents over the years involving dog bites at the White House. Although it's easy to be skeptical about some of the cases in the Black Vault archives, one thing that John Greenwald has revealed through his research is that UFOs are one of the most highly classified topics for government agencies, including the CIA, FBI, Pentagon, Air Force, Army, Navy, NSA, and DIA. Thanks to his constant efforts, people from all over the world are able to find revealing information on all kinds of incidents and cases, some of which have been revealed to be eerily disturbing in nature. If you were using the internet around 2006 and had the misfortune of accidentally visiting a website named Goggle.com in an attempt to search for Google.com, you're probably familiar with the infamous virus that destroyed thousands of computers in the early 2000s and became an urban internet legend. Because so much of the information on Goggle.com has been wiped off the face of the internet, researching the history of the website has proved to be pretty challenging. Even the Wayback Machine has Goggle.com blacklisted from being archived on its database, which makes it a little hard to trace its origin. However, there still is enough information out there to shed some light on the rise and fall of Goggle.com, one of the most destructive viruses in early internet history. The domain Goggle.com was registered on Valentine's Day 1998. For around 6 years, the website remained pretty much inactive until in 2004 some sporadic reports of the website containing dangerous malware started to spread online. Interestingly, none of the public website archives out there have any information on Goggle.com existing prior to 2004, and a lot of them have even blocked the domain altogether, making it almost impossible for us to know what the site looked like from 1998 to 2004. But out of all the possibilities, the most logical one is that Goggle.com started out as a legitimate website in 1998 and was bought out and used as a typo squatting website in 2004. Typo squatting is the practice of buying a domain with a similar name to a well-known website, expecting to receive traffic from people looking for a certain keyword and accidentally misspelling it. In this case, people searching for Google.com who accidentally typed Goggle.com would land on the website. Goggle.com was coded and designed so that as soon as a user landed on it, the user's computer would be flooded with pop-up ads and legitimate-looking Windows warning banners. When the users tried to close the windows, hundreds more would pop up until the computer crashed, permanently damaging the system. As you can probably guess, the warning windows were completely fake and were just browser windows that translated a user's click into an OK for installing malware. Basically, if you had the misfortune of visiting Goggle.com, you might as well have said goodbye to your computer. The site was designed to destroy the user's computer by pushing the viewer to inadvertently allow files to be downloaded to their hard drive, and by the time they realized what was going on, it was too late. Similar things happened on dozens of other websites, including MySpace in 2006, where users were shown a banner ad that, if clicked, would flood the user's computer with spyware. One of the things that made Goggle.com so deadly is that it pushed users to accidentally download Spy Sheriff, a malicious software disguised as an antivirus program. Once the user turned off their computer to leave Goggle.com, as soon as they rebooted the system, Spy Sheriff would pop up claiming that there were hundreds of viruses detected on the computer, and many people would inadvertently authorize the malware to wreak havoc on their computer until it rendered the hardware pretty much useless. Pretty often, the user's only option would be to completely wipe the hard drive, and sometimes not even this would be enough to get their computer working again. In 2006, a McAfee commercial used real footage of someone visiting Goggle.com to showcase the dangers of not having virus protection installed on your computer. Although some good did probably come from the commercial, it also incentivized a lot of people to try to get internet attention by recording themselves visiting Goggle.com. By the time this happened though, a lot of the vulnerabilities on most computers had been patched up by Windows, leading many people who visited the site to walk away unscathed and dismiss Goggle.com as an urban legend, but others with less modern operating systems were not so lucky. If the idea that something like this could happen on the internet seems crazy to you, keep in mind that this was back in the Wild West days of the internet, when commercial operating systems weren't nearly as developed as they are today. Over the years, Goggle.com has been acquired by different owners, taken down, turned into a malicious survey website, taken down again, turned into a fake flash download site, and taken down again. Overall, the crazy impact this virus had back in the day shows how far the internet and computers have come over the past 2 decades.
You think Google would just buy it
to
and
tread
direct it to
carefully
Google and be done with it, you know? I think they would have done that by
Apocalypse Prepping is a deep website dedicated to providing detailed preparational instructions in case of the end of the world for any number of reasons, but more recently its focus has been on artificial intelligence triggering the end of the world. On the landing page, there's a series of paragraphs outlining what the site is for and bringing attention to the site owner's opinion of the severity of the issue. As per the introduction text, the site was made with the intention of showing people how to survive the apocalypse with the bare essentials while spending a maximum of 500 to 2,000 euro. There also includes a pretty ominous warning that reads, "After you have read this chapter, you will come to understand that highly dangerous superhuman AI systems are feasible by 2024 to 2027, and that many individuals and shady corporate entities will gain the power to wield them openly or covertly with a delay of maybe 2 to 4 years. Even just from the landing page, it's pretty clear that whoever made the site takes the idea of the apocalypse pretty seriously, otherwise they probably would have gone through the trouble of building out a website with 9 different, incredibly detailed pages. The next section, titled The Threat, dives into why people should be a lot more worried about AI than they are now, outlining the main scenarios for the short-term future of society after the introduction of artificial intelligence, as well as some of the common fallacies people fall into when it comes to AI, such as judging the future based on the past, assuming linear growth, and herd mentality. Another section named What to Expect basically describes what the world would look like if the apocalypse happened today, and let's just say it's a pretty fatalistic view. Based on this doomsday scenario, the site owner then goes on to describe what an ideal plan would look like to survive the apocalypse, including finding shelter, stockpiling food and water, and surrounding yourself with people you trust. I gotta say, it's pretty interesting to see how much time whoever wrote this put into designing the perfect plan to survive a scenario that's so unlikely to happen. From purifying dirty water, to food rationing, to financial planning, to making poison and using weapons, to wound disinfection techniques, apocalypse prepping seems to have covered pretty much every possible scenario for people looking to get ready for the end of the world on a budget. There's no information to trace the identity of the site owner other than his Proton email address, and maybe the fact that he's probably European based on his choice to include euros as the default currency throughout the site. Because of this, it's impossible to know if apocalypse prepping was made by someone who's actually preparing for the worst and wants to share their knowledge with their visitors, or by someone with way too much free time on their hands. Although, considering the mass amount of data and research that went into this, I lean towards the belief that the creators presenting this seriously, leaving an eerie undertone to the site.